Hello, Shabby Geekers. Shabby Geekers are here. Hello, welcome to episode 11 of Top 5. Episode 11. One more to go after this. That's it. And tonight, look who we've got on. The lovely TJC and the lovely Travels and More with Jason. I was thinking before, it's ironic this, because I always like to put people together as this. You travel and you drive buses.
Yeah.
You should go into a collaboration or something, boys. YouTube's, you know what I mean? So you get off the bus and you have a look round. And TJC will drive it. See what I mean?
Can you imagine, though, Jason just saying, "Oh, just got to drive the bus." There'd just be a lot of injured people.
You can have that for free. You can have that for free, boys. They are. Oh, thanks, Shabby. Do you know what I mean?
I can think of the name of the show.
Go on, then. What is it?
A Summer Holiday.
See, I know Keith would like that.
Get Keith on strumming his guitar.
Be interested in that.
You can have that for free, lads. Hey, Des,
Yeah.
nice to see you. Hey, Palps, nice to see you. Mrs. T's here. I've got Mrs. T and Zoe in Stu's quiz. And who else? PGM. So it's me. I swapped with Des. I wish I hadn't now, to take truth, when I saw Zoe and Andrew. They're going to have me with PGM. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, can't wait for that to start. Hey, Ops, nice to see you. Hello, Ultra there is talking about him. Evening Top 5 is a big hello in the chat. Hey, Stu, nice to see you. Mr. Jonathan Redmond's here. Wow, Mr. Kieran's here. Packed, lads. Evening to Shabby, Terry, Jason, and everyone in the chat from our lovely pal, our DTM. Nice to see you, buddy. M's here, I am. Did you see your holiday pictures?
Yeah, holiday pictures, yeah.
Not bad. Nice holiday, that one. It looked like she had a great time.
Yeah.
Hey, Retro Toy Guy Scythe. Retro Toy Guy's here. How are you, pal? And the lovely Keith. Hello, I'm my friend. It's nice
Keith,
to see you,
good
buddy.
to see you.
Yeah, I'll be in and out. And do not worry, pal. It's lovely to see you. Right, so
my friend.
We got you two here tonight. So what I want to do is for everyone that doesn't know, the links for these two beautiful lads is in the description for their channels. But I just want to show them right here. So we've got our TJC right here. And basically, you've just gone to this now, haven't you? Well, you've always done the gaming, haven't you, really?
Well, I do the games when I can, but because of my work shifts during the week, a lot of the time, I sort of, with time having Jace as well, I have to try and balance everything out so I don't get a lot of time. So obviously, when I can, I'll get other game streams in. But the weekly one, that's obviously become a bit of a staple where every Sunday we just get together and have a bit of a laugh and joke, don't we, on a Sunday? So yeah, it's just good laugh and it.
So when did you start your channel? When did you think, you know what, I'm just going to start streaming and stuff like that?
Well, 3 years ago now, Shab. 3 years this month, I think.
3 years already.
3 years last month.
Wow. Yeah, because we all started to play this, didn't we? I mean, and everyone jumped on, and we just started.
It just started as a Sunday thing for us, didn't it? All of us. Like there was me, yourself, Si, and like obviously Brian. And I think
good old Brian was always in there. Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, we even got Tubbs on a couple of times. And,
we did.
You know, so I just started like that, and I said, "Well, what about if I stream it? That'd be right, love. Everyone can just see us idiots messing about." And everyone was just, "Yeah, what if you like?" You know, I just went from that.
It's nice. I've heard a few of the people have turned around. Like Jason will probably contest to this too, because Jason will sit on a Sunday, probably doing stuff, and just have it on in the background, as all talking.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a streaming version. The game is of a ZSR, really. It's like just us lot, you know what I mean? We just talk away and we have a good laugh and we have a good joke, and we just do it that way, don't we, really? I don't think any of us take it seriously.
Well, it's lucky. If you see Kieran's comment, that's lucky we don't. That's all I can say.
I got to admit, I would love to see the rest of the driving, because sometimes what I see with Terry's driving, I'd like to see what the rest of you are like doing.
It is funny. We're all nice to each other. We all talk until we play his game. And then everybody just has a right go at each other, don't they? Everyone's calling each other names and smashing each other off. It's fun though, isn't it? It's just good fun.
That's just got a bit of a sort of blowout sort of thing, chill out for the end of the week, isn't it? Because just for Monday, people go back to work and just have a chill out, you know.
Yeah. Hi, Rob. Nice to see you, pal. Good old Rob's here. I like it over the simple reason, exactly what you just said. I don't play PlayStation all through the week. You know what I mean? I'm busy. I've got my kid, this, that, and so forth, do the streaming. But at the end of the week, it's just nice to sit there for a couple of hours with your pals just having a game. So I think you built something nice here, TJC. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
We've always said, haven't we? Whoever wants to come in and play, they're more than welcome, aren't they? So,
yeah, I mean, that'd be nice to get a few extra in, but obviously because of the restrictions not being cross-platform and the fact that obviously you're on a PS4, George is on a PS4, so we had to obviously all go on the PS4 version, didn't we? So obviously that everyone could play it together.
Yeah.
But maybe if we do get any further and then we go to GTA 6 later on or whatever, that'll be cross-platform, so we can maybe get a few more on. Like Martin's got an Xbox, and then Martin and Steph can.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm Xbox.
Yeah, so then you could join in, Jason, as well if it's cross-platform. So that'd be a bit of get a bigger group. But like I say, the group we got now, I mean, that's just rip the hell out of each other the whole time.
Yeah.
It would. That game would be funny. It was all full of scumbag. It's just brilliant. It just stuck with
the scumbags you're talking about, Pulps. You're all of them.
Good old G-Force is here, right? G-Force saying hello to everybody. So yeah, so if you're ever free on a Sunday and you fancy just having, either watching or joining in, you're more than welcome on TJC's channel right there. So there's TJC's, and then I've got another channel right here, Travels and More with Jason. How the France did you get involved with this? Traveling everywhere.
I started watching some people in America back in 2018, and I was one of them people. Well, why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? And I thought, sod it. I'm going to do a channel. And that's how it started. And
it's really, I enjoy it. Arsai used to watch. Arsai was a avid fan of Travels with Jason, because then he said to me, and then so I started watching it through Arsai and saying, and I thought, oh, this is really interesting, because
that's good. You get everywhere, and like I say, he goes in all these different places and say, oh, look at this, look at that, and I got to visit this place, and he's walking around video and that, it just
you go everywhere though, don't you?
Oh, I try to. I mean,
it's weird for me, and it takes a lot of things to do this, because us lot will go to Joe first, right? And someone will say, Shabby, you're going to film it or stream? Nah. Do you know what I mean? I like it's so how do you stay so focused? Because you do quite a lot of videos, Jace.
I've got the focus now. When I first started filming in public, I could understand where Stu was saying, and your others, when they say, "Oh, we can't do it. I'm too nervous and all that." I understood that, because my first couple, I was nervous as like anything. But after a while, I was like, I'm just going to get into it and sub people. I'm not doing, it's like, because sometimes you're thinking with your head, like, oh, am I doing something wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And I was like, nah, I'm going to enjoy myself. And
so what matters then, Jason, isn't it?
Well, you come across like that in your videos, though, Jason. It's the way I like them, and I'm not selling you. I'm not trying to sell you up here, but I enjoy it because you're your natural self, Jason.
Yeah,
you're not. There's no, you know what I mean. There's no, this is your boy Jason, all that sort of stuff. You're like, do you know what I mean? You're just your normal self.
Do you think I could ever? I mean, okay, I do some bad accents sometimes, basically Jamaican, but nah. No. So
do you right? So let me ask you about your channel, like I asked TJC about. Do you write it all down what you're gonna do, or do you so in other words, next month if you and what is it, your brother are gonna go away? Write it down and say, right, this is what we're doing.
We're actually, funny thing, I've got my diary.
Right.
I have this diary. Before we go, I'll write down the name of places where we're going, where we want to go and see. And on the day, normally the day before, we always plan what we're going to, like, tomorrow we're going to do this, right? Sometimes you can't get to do everything. I mean, sometimes we write stuff on that list that never gets done because there's just not enough time in a day or even on a whole holiday.
Because you do a good job, though. You don't just walk around. You show shops. You go into shops. You show museums. You show exhibitions. You've been to theme parks. Do you know what I mean? It's interesting.
I've got to ask Jason, when you're walking around, say you're walking around London, right?
Yeah.
Because you did that stream, when you were walking around London, different places, looking at them old buildings in the.
Wow, George says, "Oh, hello." Oh, hello, George. Yeah.
George,
so we've been through the channels of these two beauties. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I think you'll like them. I think they're just normal, average, nice blokes. I like them both. Do you know what I mean? So the link to their descriptions are in the channels below. Got something else, Trash, and I want the chat to get involved in this too, right? Is anyone else buffering? Is it buffering? Is anyone else buffering? Is it froze? I think it looks all right to me. I think it's
the internet at your castle, George.
Yes, it was frozen. Is it still frozen now, boys? Is it still working?
I've got it on in the background.
Yeah.
And I can see it going fine.
Oh, right. Okay. So working now. Perfect. And we're back. Perfect. Oh, all right then. Fair enough. Right. So I've got something for us and the chat to get involved in, and it's this. Right. So this is an empty room right here. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
So we've got this empty room right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill this room now. I know you're both collectors. I know the lads are collectors. So the first question is this. Would you fill this room with stuff you've got now, or would you start all over again?
To be honest, if I got everything what I've got already, because like I say, as you know, I've kept everything childhood.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I'd fill that.
Right. Okay.
I'd have plenty in that.
So in other words, you wouldn't go out and buy again. You'd have all the stuff that you have, and you'd fill it all up.
No, I don't. To be honest, I might get a couple of bits that maybe I had access to when I was younger, but didn't have. Say a friend had it that I still have memories with, something like that.
Martin emptied his room. What about you, Jace? What would you do with it?
I would take what I've got in my collection now and put it in, but I would have to go and buy some proper display units.
Yeah. Geeks on to fill it with cash. Shabby, that room could do with a sofa or two. Brilliant. Well, I just thought about it today, and I thought I have a nightmare. And I'm driving my wife mental, boys, right? Because I keep turning around and saying, I want to change my room. And she said, "You've just changed it," and I did. But it's weird. I like the inspiration of a toy room, so I don't like coming in, seeing this, you know what I mean, and changing it all around and so forth. And that's probably why I don't.
I've got to ask you, Shabs.
Yeah.
I've got to ask. Is this your broom cupboard at your house?
No. This is right.
Is this where you keep your vacuum cleaner? Is it?
So I sat there last night and I was thinking to myself, right. So what would you do if you had a spare room like this, right? Brand new room, right? It's all there, and your wife says or your partner says, "Yep, you can have that room for your toys." How would you do it? Would you buy stuff that you've not bought before? Would you get into a new collection, or would you just fill it with the same stuff you've got in your old toy room?
Well, to be honest, before Jace was born, with the back bedroom of my house, which is nowhere near the size of that,
right?
I had it as my game room sort of thing, and I was actually going to the point. You know where you have a laugh and joke about cables hanging about and stuff like that, don't we? We've had that before where we had things say, "I can't have no cables on show."
Yeah, my wife was not happy when you said it about RTV. She was not, and she's going. She picked up the phone to write back to us to say it's meant to look. I said, "No, just leave it. Just leave it."
Yeah, so I actually went to the point I was chasing cables in and all that sort of stuff, but now. That's now Jace's toy room, so my stuff is all in storage now. So.
Right.
But that would be all cables would be hidden, that would be all put in. Think that I can't have it.
Is that Stu's room after Georgie emptied it for Sandown? Oh, it's a good point. It's a good point. I don't know, you see, because I've just got into mask again, and I'm doing a mask thing with a couple. I'll tell you all about that later on. And I'm really enjoying it because it was a line I had as a kid, but not a lot of it. And watching, like I say, Super Awesome and Al Luke and Monkey Boy and all that, doing the mask stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm banging to this. And it's like, you've heard me say this before, the price of modern now, I'm just thinking to myself, this is ridiculous because, I've been buying real Ghostbusters, I've been buying masks, I've been buying vintage, all vintage, not like subconsciously, it just came to me like, oh, I'll just buy them because of the prices. So I was thinking to myself, would I do that then? Would I put all my modern stuff in one corner and fill it up with vintage stuff? I don't know. What would you do, Jace, with this? What would you do with it?
I would, but it would be some new collections. It would be. Stuff that I wanted to get, but not had room. I've sold stuff in the past because simple fact is, like, I have a saying, saying to my brother, if we can't display it, what's the point of having it? So,
I know that feeling.
I'll rather sell it and make some money. Because, sometimes I've sold things, it's like, but it's like, well, I've not looked at it in 6 months, a year. It's like, what enjoyment am I getting out of it? Nothing. There's like, no, but if I had more room, and I got a whole bloody bungalow and I've run out of blooming space.
So it says, would I still have my current room? So this is this. Yeah, all right, do it that way, Zoe. But would you? What I'm saying is, would you fill this, Zoe, though, with new stuff, or would you put your old stuff in it? I don't know.
I imagine Zoe would have like a Marvel universe in Lego or something in hers.
Yeah, laminated floors have to go. I've got that floor. Look, it's here. Look, I've got the same floor.
No, you have.
I've got the same floor here. Hiya, Vintage Toy Rush. Nice to see you, pal. Nice. Retro Toy Guy says, black out the window, spend some pennies at IG, happy days. Yeah.
It's not your room, is it?
As well, that'd be.
Yeah, we could do that. Let's have a look. Evening Davey says, agreed, palps. Light grey carpet to show up any accessories at fall. I like the way you think, Jono. So Geeks On would keep the same stuff. So he'd do it. But would you decor it differently? You wouldn't have the same, because I'd do it differently than this one. I'd probably do white shelves instead of black shelves or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's hard,
you'd have to have a carpet that isn't too springy or anything, because otherwise you can lose little pieces of figures in them.
Yeah.
Have a really sort of like flat carpet, so it's not really a big.
Well, I was thinking about Andy at Oliver Chronicles too, because Andy's got a new house. It's beautiful, his house. But now he's gone into, I mean, he always has collected, but he's doing posters, and he's got posters all over. The way he's done it, all different sizes and frames. It looks awesome. But then because I've got a sugar ton of, posters here that are all framed, but I don't put them up because of my shelving. So would I say to myself, I'll keep one wall for I don't know, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to
I used to collect autographs, and every autograph I got, I put on my wall. And now I do collections. Some of my autographs I've had to put away. And the problem is, because they've been to me, to Jason, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
One thing, where I have this attitude where, I'll sell things, they put away. But them, it's like, they're put away.
Yeah. Des says, for me, my current collection would probably go in there, but displayed much better than I do my current. So that's right. So that's the thing, right? He says displayed much better. So how many times have you all got your own toy rooms, taking it all apart to make it look better? Do you know what I mean? But we're never, it's weird. We're never happy, are we? We're always like, it looks
no, we're not.
Is it because you're not happy, or is it because you enjoy it? Like you have with yours. I mean, you changed yours numerous times, Shabs, didn't you? But
yeah, I have, yeah.
You're enjoying what your collection is. And like I say, you're thinking to yourself, I'm not happy. I want to make this more prominent, or I want to make it sort of bright. So that's not that you're not happy, but you just want it to change so it keeps you interested in it. So it makes it more.
I think that's what it
is. You got your new feeling then, because you've only moved it about, but that feels like a completely different room.
I don't like that feeling, TJC, of mundane. Do you know what I mean? Or it's the same thing. It's this. I always like to refresh it and renew it and so forth. Kieran says I'd put large tables in that room and create giant dioramas for my figures like Michael Benteen and his potty time. Michael Benteen and his potty time. New stuff then. My Lego City, my own Lego. See, sort of. In fact, now she's thinking. Look, right. Yeah. So she's got to remember, I'll do a Lego City. How cool
she's
would that be?
Probably telling her husband, saying, "You see that room."
Yeah, she's got to ask now, isn't she? Oh, anyway, Mr. B, can I? Evening all. Hey, Coxie, nice to see you. G4 says, if you can't display it, then what's the point in having it? Hope he doesn't use that logic with little Jason. He's a cheeky son. DTM Collectibles says, I'd fill it with Helen shoes and coats, and I could have more room in my existing room. Could do with a nice rug too. Brilliant. Let's have a look. I would set up a karaoke machine and sing for you all. He's a good singer. That'd be pretty good. Good job. It's just a fantasy then, Dean. Brilliant. Retro Toy Guy size says, given the current heat wave here in Europe, I like the idea. I've got a ceiling fan. You can see it. If I just raise that up, you can see it going right there.
Yeah, I say here it's sweltering here at the minute. It's really humid here.
Yeah. I got to admit, a bit worried about my collections. I think I've noticed a couple of bits with how long the heat's been going. And if this place is always in its 30s, it's, you're starting, it's like,
Well, Coxie here says here, yeah, cool, Dags. Are we talking new toy rooms, Mike? Yeah, because he's just built a toy room, hasn't he, Coxie? Coxie's just built, and it's looking really good. So, yeah,
Coxie's a garage or something, isn't he? Has he converted a room or garage or something?
I don't know if it's his garage or an extension, but it looks really good the way he's done it. But I wonder if he's going to do that. I wonder if he's going to, refill it with the stuff he's already got, or get new stuff to fill it. What do you reckon? Refreshing the collector room is our way of playing with our toys. You know what?
Great point.
Yes.
Great point. I never put it that way, but it's actually a good point. Claire says I'd put in a bar and make it a party room. So Claire, do that, have a party and a poll, Claire, brilliant, and be all easier, right? So, what do you reckon the thing is? So, do you reckon the majority of us start again, or do you reckon we just keep it going the way it was?
No, I think we'll probably go
They'll probably put in what they got and then just think, oh, it's a bigger room, I need to buy more.
Yes.
If you could buy a new toy line, what would it be? Like something you've not had before. So, like I said, I had a couple of masks as a kid, but I didn't go all out. Do you know what I mean? So I'm getting back into that now. What would you two do if you had to pick one from our childhoods that you never had?
Voltron.
Voltron, really? Why Voltron?
I've liked the show, and there's quite a lot of it.
Yeah.
But it's quite hard to get. So yeah, and it is anime. I mean, so yeah, but bloody hard to get.
Well, all right. What about you? What would you go?
I think Mask would be a good one for me because, like I say, I did really like the cartoon. The toys were cool, but
yeah,
I suppose the reason I didn't go for them was because I was into Transformers, and effectively they did transform, so it was the same sort of gimmick, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
So I just. Yeah, the cartoon was good, and like I say, until they got to the racing series, and I think they lost it. But
I just bought the racing one. I just bought that the Buzzard, and it was $80, but I got it for $69.99, so $70, and it's immaculate, right? Immaculate. Yeah, well, I just bought a brand new He-Man thing that was more than that. And yeah, I could buy a vintage that's immaculate, and so that's why I'm thinking, you know what, I'm gonna try and get hold of these as many as I can. Like the He-Man, I've loved collecting the vintage.
Well, similar sort of thing for me. Well, so where you got the games now, where we play these games and stuff. Yeah. Because of the sheer cost now, as you've noticed.
Well, $100 for GTA when we get that. $100.
Yeah. So not only that, but obviously the consoles, because of the RAM crisis and stuff, because of the AI data centers buying all the RAM, put the cost of them through the roof. The consoles have gone up in price 6 years after they've come out, twice, 3 times nearly.
And it's gone up to over 250 quid more than what it was.
That's about, I think, like I say, last Christmas, I think I got a PS5 for Jason. I got it for 370 quid.
Yeah.
Direct from Sony, right? PlayStation.
Right.
Now, for a normal one, that's about 6,500 quid.
Jeepers. Coxie says, black shutters all over those windows. Yeah, it's a new room above the carport underneath. I'm finally going to be displaying my vintage Star Wars, Back to the Future props and indie stuff, plus posters. That sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it. You know what, Coxie? We're going to have to get you on a stream. When you've done it, keep all the pictures until you're all done, and then we'll get you on and we'll talk about your new room. That'll be awesome. G-Force would go for, there it is. G-Force says 5-inch die-cast Shogun Warriors he'd go for.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd go for them. And then Retro Toy Guy Size says, I'd love to start a Centurions collection. I had a load.
Oh, that was cool. I got that.
But they are long gone now. Thanks to my brother. Oh, did he?
Although thinking about it, there was a toy line what we didn't get a lot of toys from in the UK. In Europe, we did, because I've seen it when you've seen like Leicester Vintage go do their toy shop on tour, and they've gone to Europe and then they found toys there. But that was like, do you remember Starfleet, Jason?
Yes.
Oh,
I love the show.
That was only one season, but I loved the show. Right. I thought it was brilliant. And that was like, I thought if they did figures and stuff of that, like the X Bomber and all that sort of thing, Die-X, which they do, but that's not really very much available.
And they're not
here,
cheap.
Or at least it wasn't. That wasn't when we were kids either. No. But obviously, if they did stuff like that, I'd have probably had that because I love that show.
Yeah, it's good. And they're not cheap either, are they?
No, it's funny because I've always said about Galaxy Rangers, but they never sold them over here, so I've got no chance in getting it. And I ain't paying the price. Sometimes you do look at a toy line, don't you, lads, and think, oh, it's a bit
Mhm.
too much. This, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Anne Marie, good old mumsy. She said, I would fill it with dolls' houses. I just visited. Sorry, put my teeth back in. Lytham Hall, and they had a whole room dedicated to
Nice.
vintage. See, that sort of stuff's
Oh,
cool. It's like what Zoe said
Mhm.
before about the, and I've said it a million times on streams. I love looking at Lego cities. I love them. I'll never get into it because it's just too expensive for me. But I love. So that'd be cool if you had a Lego city in your house. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Doing it like
yeah.
that.
Jono's just agreed with you, Jason. Yeah, about the price.
Hmm.
Ridiculous.
Do you know? I think that's. I was talking to Claire about this. I think that's one of my favourite pieces of art of ours. So there's two. I had a huge one that he did in England, massive. It was a biker scout in Endor holding a sniper rifle, but he did it massive for me, dead wide, it straight across, and I loved it. I couldn't bring it over to America at the time, so maybe Claire still got that one. And the second one is his Elite Battle Angel artwork. I just love the detail in that. It was absolutely brilliant. He says, so my Elite Angel artwork was drawn by Si, will be framed and going on the door. That's awesome of you, man. That's awesome of you.
Nice.
Terry,
Nice.
there are a ton of Starfleet stuff, but holy shit, the price is mental. Is it?
That would be, yeah. That's quite a niche.
Yeah.
It's quite a niche sort of show, really. I mean, that was only one season, but that was like a Saturday morning sort of thing.
Japanese, if I remember rightly.
I think I've seen the ship. Did it have like an X-wing back on it, like red things?
That had like 4 bits to come out like an X-wing. That's what it looked. But like then that turned. Then obviously the robot came out, and that just assembled, and the big red Di-X robot.
Yeah,
with the big X across his face.
I just unboxed a cool indie figure about 3 hours ago. Did you? Awesome, man. Did you make a video of it? If you did, I'll watch it. Geekstrong says I would collect Micro Machines, Aliens, and Predators, and more kind of aliens and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes toys. Right. So yeah, but you've. So in other words, is that something new, Geekstrong, that you do? You're like, I want to get into them. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Because
with Dino's collection, that's probably one of the things he hasn't got yet.
But I think that's one of the reasons I brought this up about a toy room, because as years go by, and I can only speak for myself, maybe the chat and YouTube, more stuff comes out, or you tend to watch a video and think, and so you add stuff on, but the more you add in your room, the less you've got for the stuff you already collect. You see what I mean? So I was just thinking, if you had a new toy room, how would you do it? Would you stay strict if you had a new toy room as well? If you had to start all over again? Because I've done that millions of times, lads, where you've gone, I'm not buying it, but then you buy it and then you think,
well, it depends, Shabs, doesn't it? Because if you got a budgetary value, if you're sitting there thinking if money's no object, then you're going to buy everything, aren't you? But if you've got a lot of thing and you say you've only got a limited amount of money to spend, then you're going to say, well, I'm going to have to prioritize. So, like Luke, he only collected one toy line.
Yeah. Well, look at Matt and his what is it? And his hot toys. Do you know what I mean?
He only getting one, weren't he? Yeah. I
think we're all impulsive like that, aren't we, boys? I think if we, know, because I must drive my missus mental. I must do. Do you know what I mean? The amount of times I've said things, if I don't, but it's, I think it's because I love what we do so much. It's hard, but then it's funny because you've heard for years, haven't you, lads, that space is a factor and space is, a toy collector's enemy and so forth. And it is basically in it. Do you know what I mean? So awesome. Right, let's have a look. Micro Machines is a good shout. Yeah, I agree with that. That's awesome. And I'll check it out later. Yeah, so BOE's new video's up. So we have 35 people in here watching YouTube Beauties. How did you both come up with your top 5? Now, don't give your top 5 away. How did you come up with it? So I'll start with you, TJC.
Well, it's just basically that was fairly straightforward deciding what the theme was going to be. But obviously I thought, okay, am I going to just decide between? I know it's not actually in any order, but you're just sitting there thinking, trying to figure out how you're going to come out with it. But
yeah,
I actually quite enjoyed it. And once we get to the end, I'll explain to you what that's now led on to, if you see what I mean.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, so obviously I've like I said to you in the chat, obviously in the group chat, I said, I'm really looking forward to it because that's now reminded me of what I was, and I actually found different pieces which I thought, I forgot I had that.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, I knew what I was going to do with that. And then that's just reignited that bit of a. So that's good. It's good.
Yeah, awesome, man. What about you, Jace?
Well, some of it was basically what it meant to me by like gifts. And some of it was, well, I couldn't afford to get that, but I could got this. So basically, some of it is more about what was given to me, and basically, literally a couple bits is what I can do and what I wasn't available. So
right,
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm looking forward to this. Jonathan says X-Bomber didn't do well in Japan, but Starfleet did amazing. It did amazing in Europe. So the European distributors wanted to buy the puppets and make their own sequel, but a fire in Japan destroyed a lot of them. Was it puppets like Thunderbirds?
Yeah, that was sort of. Yeah, that was like that sort of thing. But that was really for a kids thing to watch. Starfleet was really close to the wire, like an emotional thing. People got hurt and stuff. It weren't like where they just pick yourself up again. Like, say, for instance, Transformers, they'd pick yourself up on, put their arm back on, or something like that. In the cartoon, the early cartoons, that'd be what it was. So, where Transformers the movie killed a load off, that was what Starfleet was like. That was really brutal.
Yep.
People were getting hurt, and that was really.
Wow. Okay. So was it aimed at kids though?
That was a kid thing. That was on Saturday morning.
It was a kids show. Yeah. Wow. I'll have to check this out. Starfleet. That's what it's called.
Starfleet.
Starfleet.
Yeah.
G4 says if I was blessed with that room, I'd get the 6-foot Mythic Legions and build, cost you more than the room, that thing, and build a huge battle scene. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I was something I always wanted. We were talking about that on ZSR on Friday. I always wanted to get into Mythic Legions, but I just thought to myself, it's with tax and everything, you're looking at $40 a figure and hundreds of dollars. I just thought, no, there's just too much other stuff. But I love looking. I know Steph's got into it. Actually, our Steph's got into Mythic Legions. And I thought Matt did, because Matt bought the Templar one years ago. And I thought, oh, here we go, but he didn't bother with him.
That's probably because he liked just the look of the Templar figure, because the detail on that is amazing, isn't it? Let's be honest, that is just, that looks amazing figure.
Yeah. George Aiken says, I've given a fair bit to Jason and TJC. I hope he's talking about gifts.
Well, actually, George walked in last NEC and he had a couple of bags of things, and I was sitting there, stood there with Jason, just said, oh, George, how you getting on? Do you need a hand with anything? He said, oh, you got Transformers, didn't you? Here you go, and he gave me a brand new Transformer. I was like,
wow.
Thanks, George.
Lovely lad, George.
And he went, what do you want for it? He said, no, you can have it.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's a lovely
Hi,
guy,
Martin.
George.
Martin's here. He's come to see everybody. Nice to see you, Martin. Everyone's saying hello. Didn't Brian May of Queen do the theme song for Starfleet?
Quite possibly.
He did. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, he did, pals. Well, there you have it. So there you have it. We've got to know you too. We've got to know your collections, what you're going to put in a new collection room, and we've talked about your YouTube channel. It's not bad at all, eh, boys?
I know.
Right. Here we go. 5. Love this show. Love it. Because I don't know what you're going to show all. Obviously, some people will send me pictures or whatever. But one of my favorite things about top 5 is the stories behind it. But before we get into top 5s, we've got an honorable mention. So here we go. So I'm going to start with TJC. What's your honorable mention, TJC?
Oh, now you're asking. Let's have a look. The first one is, I used to literally take this everywhere with me, because I used to be into my cars. I used to go to all the car shows, car meets. I used to meet up for the tune and sort of meets and all that sort of stuff. So I always used to take my games things with me. So the PlayStation Portable, do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. The PSP.
Yeah, so I got that. This is the 3000 model, but I have got a 1000, the original one. But I didn't obviously use it. This one was slightly better. But I used to take this everywhere with like a amp and stuff with speakers. But a little Logitech used to do a little thing that you just sit on, plug it in. And because I used to have the UMD movies as well, so I used to put them in there and used to just have that and watch the movies and stuff with it.
How old's that now? How old is it now, the PSP? I remember buying our Jude one, so I know they're old, but they're not that old.
And just in case you realise, that motorbike on there is me at Silverstone, going around Silverstone on a motorbike. So like I say, that was what I did. I took it everywhere because that was just quite handy. You could play games if you're sort of sitting there chilling out in the evening, or you just stick a film on it, and that just the battery used to last quite well.
It was like small little SD games you put in it, wasn't it, as well? It was like a...
I'll show you what it is, Shabs.
Yeah, they weren't as big as the Game Gear ones, were they? And that's it, yeah. So it's like
UMDs, they're called.
UMDs.
Yeah. So that's Crazy Taxi, the game, the Sega game, Crazy Taxi.
Wait, did you have one of these, Jace? Did you have consoles?
No. I didn't have mini consoles, but I actually do remember buying that for my brother. I did.
If TJC's a car guy, why is he so crap on GTA 5?
I'm old now, pal. That's just what it is.
George Aiken still got his PSP. Do you still play it now?
Yeah. I mean, do you remember the arcade game, Ghosts and Goblins?
No.
You don't remember that, King Arthur? Phone.
I remember the King Arthur one. It was done like a cartoon. Is that right? Or was that Dragon's
just
Lair?
like a little platform where you used to go along and things come out the ground at you and all that. So you throw it. Basically, that they did a load of arcade perfect ports of different games for the PSP, and that was just brilliant. And I even put emulators on it so I could play Mega Drive games on it and everything.
I wonder if there's still a thing around it, like what?
Oh yeah, there's a homebrew thing for it. Yeah, people making games for it and hacking it and getting it to do things it shouldn't do, and that's still quite a popular thing now.
Was it on the internet? Was it internet driven?
What do you mean?
Well, was it online, the PSP, or was it before online?
You could have it on the internet. Yeah.
Wow,
you could play. I think you could play online with it. A couple of things. They had things like a couple of the you had Call of Duty even on it.
Because you could join it, you could put it on your PlayStation as well, couldn't you? There was a thing I remember.
Your PS3, your PS3 as well. You could have it where you could play your PS3 with it.
Yeah.
So you could actually connect to your PS3 and you could use it and play your games.
Ghosts and Goblins
with the Vita.
Was one of those rock hard arcade games.
Ghosts
and Goblins. Just explain Ghosts and Goblins to me. Do you know, Jace, Ghosts and Goblins?
Well, basically, you're starting your suit of armor, silver suit of armor.
Yeah.
And you're throwing, like when you're doing like he's throwing his weapons, which you upgrade your weapons as you go, but you're throwing his weapons, you've got zombies coming out of the floor and stuff, obviously, and all that sort of stuff, to enemies, different things flying down. Basically a standard platform affair. But the difficulty was out of this world. Every decent version of it was a nightmare to thingy. That was a long game as well.
Yeah.
So you'd have 3 lives, and basically you'd go for it, and then you'd have to start again, or you couldn't just say I'll save it and carry on. And that was brutal game.
Did PSPs go up in price or down in price? So in other words, if I wanted one now, is it going to cost me a fortune?
I wouldn't know. I ain't actually looked, to be fair.
Right. Okay.
I've still got the original, which is a bigger. The PSP original one is bigger. The screen isn't really any bigger, but the actual thing itself is. They made a slightly smaller one, which is what that one is, the 3000 model. And then that was what I had that because that was better in your hands and stuff.
They don't make them anymore, though, do they? Now they've just kept with
No, because they done another one afterwards, the PS Vita, didn't they? The later one.
The Vita, I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah, so they did that. I got that and all.
Right. Ghosts and Goblins was one of my favorite Nintendo games. Dragon Lair was my favorite. That's the one I was thinking of.
Dragon's Lair. Yeah, so I had that on the Amiga.
Shabby, it was a side-scroller type platform game. You're thinking of Dragon's Lair, mate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was the I remember the cartoon one with the guy and the sword. Yeah, I remember that. It sounds like walking through Birmingham. I had it on the Commodore 64, says BOE. Those things I believe was similar. Right, okay. What were we going to say, TJC?
I was just because they did that. Ghosts and Goblins was the first one, then Ghouls and Ghosts was the follow-up.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, it was the same sort of thing, but the first one was just, you used to play the hell out of that in the arcade. That would cost you a fortune in there because
I remember the table
only about 10p a go sort of thing then, back 10, 20p a go for a game.
The reason I asked about how much the PSP is now, because we were talking about that on the ZSR years ago about your favourite arcade game. And like I said, I'm from Blackpool, so full of arcades where I'm from. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there isn't a game I didn't play as a kid, really. But my favourite was the table. It was done like a table. It was the World Cup soccer with the ball and you'd roll.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I remember being on there and I actually thought, I wonder how much one of them is. And they're a fortune. They're about £3,000-4,000.
You know, you can get the arcade one-up, do them.
Do they?
Yeah, they do like recreations of them.
Like
the machine that I bought from Adam, if you remember. I got the Street Fighter machine off Adam, didn't I?
Yes, you did, yeah.
That's got a one-up, sort of like 2/3 size one, whatever it is, for Jace. So I got that for Jace because he likes them sort of arcade machine. But they also do the tabletop ones. So you can get them, and they're very sort of price, but £500-600 probably.
I remember Tez went to see Sight in Blackpool, and they went out to that. There's a new retro arcade place in Blackpool. It's all the retro, and they were playing it. You know what I mean? They actually had one in there, and I thought, no way, that's awesome. Jonathan says Dragon's Lair ate up so many 10p's for me, but it was awesome watching someone who knew the moves to play it.
Yeah, because that Dragon's Lair was like watching a cartoon. If you didn't do the right move at the right time, that'd be going back to that beginning of that scene. You have to do it again. Oh, that was just It's
funny now as well because, like I say, you see some of these retro videos like Retro Ricks and stuff like that, and how much video games are going up to. Is that, do you think, the new version of toy collecting when it comes to computer games?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you do. I do, really. But
my brother started collecting the consoles that he had
Right.
Yeah.
So he's doing it, is he, Chase? He's getting
Yeah.
into him and so forth.
Yeah.
Cox, he says, Ghouls and Ghosts, what a game. I found my Atari ST in the spring and I put this game in and played it for the first time since 1991. Do you do that? Do you go back, lads, and play old consoles and old games and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Not really.
No, I don't. Why do you do it? Just for the nostalgia, or you just enjoy playing them?
Well, I just think the games, I mean, you play the new games now, and got to say, yeah, graphically they're brilliant, and got to say, like you say, GTA 5, we have a proper crack on that. But
yeah, we do.
And I do enjoy them, but the old ones, that's a bit of a test for you, isn't it? It's a test for your grey matter.
Yeah.
You don't get where that gives you arrows where you got to go. You don't get a map to say, oh, you got to go down here. You got to remember the levels, and you got to think, hang on, where did I see that? And you got to remember where you went, and that actually really sort of like tests you again. I mean, obviously, you're not as good as you were when you were a kid, Adam, obviously, because
I understand what you're saying.
Your reaction times are just nowhere near as what they were, but obviously, they're just good to go back. What you said, nostalgia is part of it, obviously, but.
I have a Star Wars Arcade 1-up pinball. It has about 10 different tables on one machine. Yeah. And my mate did some programming and NBA Jam on the Atari Lynx. Is there a certain console or handheld thing you'd like to get hold of, TJC? Or is that always your favourite, that one, the PSP?
Well, the PSP was, I went for a handheld sort of thing. That was obviously the extension of the PlayStation, really. I mean, stuff. But I think that there is a few that I'd like to have got, which I played or had time on because friends had them, and I remember certain games. And like you say, again, that's just something that means something to me. So you remember them times, and then you'd like to have one to say, "Oh, I've got that," and that can you look back on them times and stuff. But
I think for me it would be a Super Nintendo because I played it with my brothers constantly as when we were kids. Our side would, make a notepad full of all the scores and the divisions, and me and my four brothers would play that together. I still play FIFA now. Do you know what I mean? That's a game, but I like to play it on my own now.
Did you ever play Football Manager as well, Shabby?
I played Football Manager for a bit, but to me it was always FIFA. I've had FIFA since I was a kid, and I just enjoyed it. So yeah. What about you, Jason? Is there a certain game you'd like to go or console you'd like to go back and get?
There's still one game that me and my brother have got in our collections, and it's called Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at the time, the graphics was brilliant. And I would have said near enough the graphics that we get today that I thought till I went and watched it not long ago. But it's still a cracking good game. And I think it comes out of Parasite. Oh, I can't say the bloody word now. They say it's number 2. We only got number 2 out. We never got the first one or the third part.
Right.
But the game is brilliant. To
reply to Coxie's comment there, we're not allowed sat nav or any sort of device like that in the cab.
Are you not?
No, that's not allowed to have it in there. So once you've learned the route, that's it. You've got to learn it and keep it in your head, because you can't have sat nav in there because they consider that a distraction.
Mike Tyson's. I loved Mike Tyson's Punch Out. That was a great game. Jason, your honourable mention is this.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
That is super cool.
Yeah, I saw that poster in Paris when I found that forbidden type of shop, panic type of shop.
Right.
Well, it was actually, I didn't even know if this shop even existed in Paris. Then I saw that in the poster rack, and I was like, me like that. Don't know why I like it.
The artwork's phenomenal, though, Jason.
And I thought, I also know somebody else that would have liked it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm buying that. I was like, I've got no room for the bloody thing. I don't know where I'm going to display it. But I thought, I'm buying it.
It's funny that because it's like I said, I've got a load of posters here that are all framed that they're stacked against the wall. So I like looking at them, but for exactly what you just said, it's hard to put something up like that how big is that, JT? I can't work out how big. Is it massive?
Yeah, same as the Star Wars poster.
JT? Wow.
Is it like A3?
No, you can get the Star Wars posters at the full size with all the movie credits. They're like Hollow Chronicles showed a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Same size. Okay.
That was cool, Jason. Who's the artist? Do you know who the artist is?
Don't know. The name's actually is in the corner.
Let me see if I can. No, I can't get that bigger.
It says 2025 on it, but I can't read that artist.
It's awesome. Are you looking forward to the new Marvel movie this year?
I am.
The Avengers.
Yeah,
I am.
give it a what? Give it a what?
See, I'm the same as you. I'll watch it. Do you know what I mean? It's funny that because when I went to watch Infinity, I've always liked Marvel movies, but I'm not a diehard Marvel fan. You know, I've got to see them or whatever, and I've loved
I
them.
got to admit, even though the other ones did get slated, I watched them.
Yeah, well, I watched Infinity.
I didn't think much of them since Endgame, but
I watched Infinity War, and I could not wait to get back in the cinema to watch Endgame. I love those films; they were so well done.
After Endgame, though, I watched the series that they did as well. Like you did, like the WandaVision thing. You did all that sort of thing. I watched that.
Yeah,
and I watched sort of like the series as well, and I weren't overly impressed with any of them, but yeah, I mean, this one would probably be quite good because that's another big getting a few characters together to make a big ensemble cast again, and see if they do it right. I mean, that'd be quite good, you know. So.
Kieran says, "Is that Jake? It could be J. Scott Campbell, maybe." Has done that. I just think it's awesome. Would you put something like that in your house, TJC? Would you have a big Marvel poster like that in your room?
Yeah, to be honest, I got some posters which I got at a Comic-Con, which are not that sort of art, but they are sort of like art of characters, like you got Darth Vader and that sort of stuff, what Jace likes. And I've got to put them up in his room. I've got to get frames for them. They're probably sort of like A3 sort of size posters.
Yeah.
And he wants them along his wall. So I will get them because he loves anything like that.
Here we go.
I would have them up.
Shabby, you need a multiple. I always thought that. I was thinking of doing that once. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I've got a lot of Ed 5 posters that they've sent me, and I've got a gem poster that Connor got me, and I've got a big Transformers lenticular one that Andy Olacron. I've got loads of him, and I was thinking maybe something like that, but I didn't know. Yeah, I'd like to have something like that, but where do you buy them from? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
poster holders or whatever. You know what I mean? Doing it that way. I stopped going to see Marvel movies after Endgame. I've enjoyed them. I don't think I've enjoyed them as much as I like Eternals. I didn't mind Eternals. I've never, but it's in a way though. I think it got to a point with me, and I was like, oh, I'll watch it when I watch it. I've never seen Thunderbolts. I've never seen the Marvels. Do you know? I never. Do you know what I mean? It's just like when I get round to it. And so it's like the same as Spider-Man. I'd see Spider-Man. I've always enjoyed Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, but it's when
Thunderbolts. I watched Thunderbolts. Yeah.
Was Thunderbolts good? Because a lot of people said it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Let's have a look. I've just heard that Terry talking about bus routes. I suppose learning a bus route was like taxi driver. You know what? I never knew that myself, JT. Yeah, about learning the knowledge, but maybe not quite. Why is there no GPS on it or whatever? What if you get lost if you turn down the wrong street?
Well, that's a little bit more involved if you get lost with a bus. Because
I suppose,
what you got to find as well. See, we've had this discussion before, like you say, with Keith being an ex-policeman. If you have an accident that happens in front of you,
right,
and they close the road, all a policeman wants to do is say, "You're diverted down here," but that policeman doesn't know whether you can get a bus down there.
Yeah,
right.
So, if that's me, I've actually had it happen where I've turned around and said to the policeman, "I'm not going anywhere," and I actually then in control and say, "This is where I am," and they can track you because they track where all the buses are, and they can say, "Right, yeah, we can see it, yeah, we know where you are, yeah," and I say, "Well, the policeman wants me to go this way,
right? Can
I get a bus down there, or is it going to get stuck?" Whereas I've got to then try a different route, which I can then get a bus through because you got to think a bus is over 8 foot wide.
Yeah,
and a double decker is 35 foot long.
I've drove massive semi trucks and stuff over here. Do you know what I mean? But I'm nothing like a size of a bus or whatever. I don't think I'd, you know. But it's funny.
So
you don't really need a license for that.
If you got a single decker bus, they're 40 foot long.
Jeepers.
So you got to think about that. If you're going down a little, I mean, some of the routes we are the little country roads, and they are bare minimum getting them round, and you have to sort of like take a little bit. Certain routes to get round these certain routes because they're not built for something that big.
No, but they're not. You don't think that
way.
You
get certain routes. You got to think if you've got a double decker bus, for instance, and the police say, "Oh, you need to go down here," and there's a low bridge.
Right.
You can't then go down. You can't. Then
no,
go
you
down.
can't.
So you can't just turn and say, "Oh yeah, I'll go that way," because you're not a car, are you?
I'd be useless.
I would be. It's not quite as easy as that.
Just checked it. Is J. Scott Campbell that print? Jason, so it is J. Scott Campbell. Brand New Day's really good. Yeah, I've heard good things about it. I've always liked him, that Tom Holland. And you know, I don't
watch
mind
Brand New Day, but Jason wants to watch the other Spider-Man films first.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I like Thunderbolts. We watched it the other day for a brand new day. Right, so Thunderbolts is a good one worth watching too. Right, I'll try that then. Is there an accident in front of you and the police close the road, Terry? Just get out and walk away. Can't see.
The passengers might have something to say about that, Coxie, but
8 foot wide, like Shabby's outstretched. I haven't got long. That's bloody Boss Bounty, that, and what is it? And
not 8 foot
Red
wide,
5 Designs.
Come on, they go around the world. He can give the world a hand.
How that came along, I used to do the Shabby Dance Fridays, and the way I had my camera, I used to fling my arms out. So it always looked like my arms were dead long, and it just stuck with me, didn't it? It just stuck all the way through. So,
yeah.
But I haven't got like, oh, shut up, Shabby. Sadly, I have to go see. Well, let's see you side. Nice to see you, buddy. Didn't I supply some double deckers for you like at Birmingham?
That's high.
Oh,
what do you reckon?
George.
I don't know what George is going to give you, do you? Right, there's your honourable mentions. Let's get to your top 5. Jason, we're going to do your number 5 first, and it's this. What? Robotech, but they're like dull Robotechs, Jace.
Yeah.
Yeah, they was actually given to me as a gift from my brother. Right. But it also... It's a show that I remember watching as a kid, and I didn't know till I actually watched Retro Blasting that it wasn't actually called Robotech. It was called something else.
What was it called?
I can't tell you the name it was called. It's
right.
But it was called, where it was like Robotech, then the Robotech 2 and something else.
Man was Battle of the Planet.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
Battle of the Planets, yeah.
Yeah. Microcross. Jonathan just put in the thing.
Macross, yeah.
Right,
okay.
I destroyed it, and until it was explained why film, each different TV series was actually different because it wasn't even the same universe. It wasn't even the same show. Are these Action Man size, Jay? Yeah, they are. They're literally 12-inch. They only made 4 of them. And that was it.
What year are these, Jason?
I think they're 80s, and they are Japanese imports.
I love the names. Rick Hunter, Dana Sterling, Lynn Min May, and Lisa Hayes. They just look ace. They look really.
Because if you see, you actually see the Transformer type of vehicle there.
Right.
That's the original. Yeah, that's the original one that Transformers nicked. That's actually the original one.
Hasbro licensed that, recolored it for the Jetfire figure. So Jetfire is basically that. Mm-hmm.
And the early ones do actually have US spacey on some of them.
Yeah, absolutely superb. I see. You're the same as me. I don't care if people take the piss out of Shabby getting a couple of Barbies, and I've always appreciated dull artwork. Do you know what I mean? Like the gems and the Monster High.
Shabby.
What I'm saying is, though, I just think they look cool. In a box.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as if I'm opening them, combing their hairs or whatever. But you feel the same way as me. Then you just like the aesthetic of having a nice boxed art. I got
to admit, looking at some of their hair in there, I think they're slowly going. So blimey, some wicked hairdos in there. Oh, I think I need some hair.
So these were a gift off your Mikkel, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So where did he get them? Did he buy them in Japan or when you were?
No, he got them. He got them from eBay. He did.
Amazing. I just think they're dead cool. Look, what about you, TJ?
They are.
What do you think of these?
Yeah, they're cool. I mean, like I say, I never really actually had a lot to do with the cartoon.
Thank you, Amy.
They might have shown it here and there.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get into it. But what made me look at it a bit more was the fact that when they saw that they released a Jetfire figure, which you were sitting there thinking, because when they first saw the adverts, because you know yourself, Shabs, just for Christmas, you'd have the lead up to Christmas, you'd have adverts on everything. That'd be all toys, wouldn't it? All the way to Christmas.
Yeah.
But then the Transformers one come on, they released Jetfire, and you see the Jetfire, and you think, oh, they look cool. But because I had the comics, he was nothing like the comics. They're thinking, well, why have they done a different figure from the comic? And that's because they used that, they licensed that figure, which is Jason's in the middle there, and then remade that as Jetfire.
Anne-Marie says she loves those figures, Jason. Wizzy, nice to see you. That's nice. Jonathan says, how many gold do own the outside Japan rights to Macross, also known as Robotech, went apeshit over Hasbro nabbing the rights to Jetfire.
That's
what
right.
TJC was saying. Hence, he was only in the credits and hardly in the show at all.
And if you remember, Shabs,
Yeah,
they couldn't call him Jetfire in the cartoon for licensing issues. They had to call him Skyfire.
all about that. Yeah.
Because the license of this, the figure and like the toy version, the different licenses, that's a proper mess of all who's got what, who can distribute what, who can release this. And because they wanted to then release toys of these in the States, they couldn't because that figure was licensed by Hasbro as Jetfire.
Wow. Dolls, I didn't know what it is. Do you mean collectible action figures? Well, actually, JT makes a good point there. Were these aimed at girls or boys back then? Because what are these 70s, 80s? These must be 70s, 80s.
They're early 80s, if I remember rightly. And probably aimed at both.
Aimed at both, because you've got a fella in there, Rick Hunter, do you know what I mean?
But I would say, being that it's literally, I think there's only one more figure.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think it's near complete. And it's literally the guy you see, Rick Hunter, and the rest are girls. So I think it's probably more aimed at girls, probably.
I wonder if you could buy extra outfits like they did with Barbie and Gem and all that for these. No, there was just like the box and that was it.
I'm not sure. I remember seeing something, but I don't think there was much. I think it was like 1 or 2 outfits, and that was it.
I think they're double. I wonder if they're pricey now on eBay. These it must be.
I've not actually checked that ages, actually.
And there's one missing. Did you say, Jason? Do you know which one?
If I remember. Actually, if I remember rightly, it might be 4 together, but I'm sure there's 5. I'm not sure it's. Yeah, it's. If I remember rightly, it's Lynn Marie, and she's in a different outfit. Basically, did her twice. If I remember rightly, I am getting old.
I just think they're. I don't know. I love them. I think they're awesome. I have no fear about Robotech.
Cool. They've got like the outfits and everything are quite detailed, don't they? It's not as if that's.
Do they still make Robotech stuff now? Do they still make it now, Robotech?
Yeah. It's big. It's still quite big out in Japan. And I mean, I didn't find it. Did I find anything in Thailand? Nope. No, don't think I did.
Now, this 3¾ inch figure right there, did they make them all like that too?
Yeah, they made a whole wave of them figures.
Yeah.
They did. I think there's something like. I think Kieran can put it in the list, and I can't remember how many, but I think there's about 12 in the collection from all the different Robotechs, you know. And the same as G.I. Joe. I don't know if you can see it from the picture. They got the same bendy. I mean, they're nothing like the Star Wars figures.
Are the O-rings as well?
Yeah, the O-rings. Literally.
Are they 5 POAs as well, Jason?
Yeah, 5 PIs.
They do look like Joe's. Looks like got the swivel on the arm. You can see the pins and so forth, like the Joe's. Yeah, and Robotech Marcos like that. JT says he's getting Battle of Planet. Yeah, I am getting Battle of Planet.
Similar.
And Jonathan says, it's still crazy popular, but Robotech stuff makes Hot Toys look cheap, Shabby. Wow, does it? Wow. I just think it's
especially over here, because like the fighter, it can come brittle. And so, they're quite dear to find over here. But here in Japan, be a bit cheap.
RBOE says, are they 12 inches?
Yes, they are. The same size as Action Man and Barbies and so on, really.
Yeah, because JT says he's getting, the Battle of Planet vibes. I am, but I'm also getting the Barbie vibes. They look they're very like a Barbie, aren't they, basically? They look very Barbie-ish, if you will. Yeah, especially the 3 women with their wicked hairdos. I just think they're absolutely brilliant, them. Do you think you'll want to find the other one, Jace? Is it something that you're on the hunt for, or?
No, I think if I remember right, I had a chance to get it, and it's quite of a plain figure. It was like, nah. And the price I wanted, it was like, nah.
No, just
if it was a whole different character, I was like, I would have got it, because it's actually the same as
just a different outfit.
Yeah, and it was like, no point.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, awesome. Right, TJC, what's your number 5?
Got to put a disclaimer first, Shabby. Kez is going to be upset. That's all we're going to say.
As he's going to be upset.
This one, my Commodore 64.
I had that.
Still all working, fully working and everything. And like I say, this is the C version, which was the later one they did. But it's all still works. And like I say, just to put with it, this is what I used to load the games off of. I used to load it off tape. So you had the tape recorder, obviously, to put the tape in. But once I bought the game, I had remember the action replay cartridges you used to put in the back?
Mm-hmm.
So I used to press a button on that, and that would like freeze it, and then I'd actually save it to 5 1/4-inch floppy disk.
Oh.
And that used to load a hell of a lot quicker than tape. So you used to,
Yeah.
And the thing is, I've got the cable out of this, the serial cable out of this. I've got an adapter now where I actually copied all my games off the floppy disk because obviously they degrade as they get older.
Yeah. And
I've got all the copies on my PC now. So actually, if I wanted to use it on emulators, I've got all the games that I originally had.
And would you go back and play them? I've just got. It's weird that because I started off with Commodores and Spectrums. I remember get involved from it. I remember playing Lunar Rover and Horoscope skiing, but it's weird. I don't have any nostalgia to it.
I've streamed them. Commodore 64. Yeah,
it's funny because Tez will do his Spectrum ones, and I've said this before, and I'll go and watch him, and then I remember that, but then he'll show his Super Nintendo, and I'm like, that's
if you
where
watch
I
the
get
Spectrum stuff, like what Tez does, you limited. You got your Spectrum, which was a hell of a good computer. I've got a Spectrum as well. I've got one of them. I still got them in storage, so I've got one. But I thought because Tez has got his Spectrum, I thought I'll choose this and then just like wind him up. Right. But the Commodore 64, I spent a lot of time on because you used to have the sound. The music was brilliant on them.
Yeah,
and they used to actually use them. A lot of musicians used to use them to make their music for stuff in the 80s one originally, and then they progressed to other things. But because of how good they were, they had like really good color palette. The sprites and everything were quite big on them, and some of the games they used to do arcade ports because obviously the licensing thing weren't such a big thing in the 80s, if you remember, because you used to get a lot of arcade games on it just about every computer, and there was never an issue. You got Donkey Kong on everything, and like I say,
that was right. It was cool. It was like the artwork on it on the front.
So you think, but obviously you think now if you tried to do a Donkey Kong on anything other than Nintendo, cool, they'd be on you, wouldn't they? They'd be just like court orders and everything, wouldn't they? Saying you can't release that, and
Yeah.
But in the 80s, you used to get it on everything, didn't you? Any arcade port, you'd get on everything, Spectrum, Commodore, everything. But like I say, you spend a lot of time with the Commodore 64, and like I say, I've got a lot.
It's only so recently as well. I found out that the Amiga 500 was Commodore. I never knew that. I remember talking to the lads, and one of the lads had shown one, and I didn't realize it was Commodore.
Funny point was, I'll explain it later. We'll go into it later. We'll lead into that. But obviously,
if you had to pick one out of both of them, which one would you be your favorite, the Commodore or the Spectrum? So you can only play in your new toy room that we established at the start of this thing. You can only have one. Which one would you have?
I'd have to have the Commodore.
You would. That's what VTR says as well. VTR says
the Commodore was just. Yeah, it was a completely different machine, really.
Do you remember the
way ahead of its time?
I remember getting it, and I think I was about 20 when I got it. I didn't get it second.
I can't remember any games. What was big games on the Commodore that weren't on
I can't remember what games. Well, I do remember getting the Spectrum too.
A lot of the big games on Spectrum were on the Commodore 64. And they were better versions on the Commodore 64 because of how that was actually laid out, because you had better sound, better color palette, larger sprites, more memory, obviously, until the Spectrum 128 came out. But then obviously, they did a Commodore 128. So then obviously you had the memory again. But 64 was like a happy medium. They could do so much with that small amount.
I know there's a big thing. I watch retro recipes on YouTube, and he just made one, didn't he? He just made the brand new Commodore.
Well, the funny thing is, because Commodore got broken up when they went bankrupt by various. I mean, Escom bought them, a German company,
right?
And then they went bust not long after. And then that basically all the licenses for ownership of this. That was basically like they were like vultures picking this, picking that. So they basically picked what that went everywhere, and that was a nightmare for people to try and get everything together. Saying we want to do this and make it a Commodore, but they went, we didn't own the license for that. They do, and all that was just everywhere. So there's a guy now. He's actually got all of the Commodore stuff together again and started Commodore again.
Yeah, that's him. That's the guy. I watched.
But they're now releasing in the next month or so a Commodore 64 Ultimate, which is a new version of that same computer, an FPGA, So it's basically the same as what the original one was. It's
Yeah.
like upgrades like HDMI out, USBs and stuff like that. So you can still use your original joysticks, but then you can also use USB ones too. So that's got a bit of a happy mid. But they've brought it back. So I'll say it's that popular, and their pre-orders have gone through the
It
roof.
really is, because it's like you say, you know, it's only until you come into like positions we are in where you get to know loads of people in the group and whatever, and you see how big stuff like Spectrum and Commodore is, because you know what I mean. If I hadn't joined I'll say a pop culture bunch of lads, because that's what we are. You know, we're into movies, video games, toys, that kind of thing. I would never have known it would be that big. Matchbox actually released their versions of Robotech dolls in '86, and they have a different outfits to the Japanese versions. Wow, I didn't know that. JT says, didn't Commodore 64 sponsor Chelsea? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, you're right.
That's obviously one of the mistakes they made.
I need to find a working Sky side quest drive to get my artwork off of one of those discs. Are the discs easy to get hold of, like they are Spectrum, you know, on the cassette? Are they easy to get hold of, the discs?
You can still get the 5 1/4 floppies.
You can?
Yeah.
Wow.
But what you used to do is you used to cheat with them, because, like I say, they had a little notch in the side of a disc. If that was a single-sided disc, you used to get what they used to call like a notch thing like that. And you used to put a notch in it, and you could turn the disc over and use the other side as well.
Wow, that's awesome, man. DTM says, years ago, me and my brothers made homemade short film, and my brother used the 64 as a means of making the soundtrack. It was crap. At least he could do it, though, DTM. Do you know, that sounds pretty impressive. Howdy, folks. Hi, Jesse. Hope you lads are having a great time. We'll have to catch the replay later tonight. We'll watch it, because there's some good stuff that these lads are showing. So I appreciate you coming in, Jess. Did Commodore 64 use a futuristic thing called tape cassettes? Like what?
Yes,
Spectrum
they did. You had a cassette recorder with it, which you used to put the games in.
George Aiken still has his Amiga 500. Yeah, I love that. But even that, I can only remember on that. Sensible Soccer. Or Lemmings. I remember Lemmings and Sensible Soccer.
Jace tried that. We went to Comic Con and he tried that and he loved that. He was like, oh, can you get this?
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Look at that. True fact. Lionel Richie loved the game system, the Commodore. He named his group after it. Shut up. Yes, JT, but it had its own tape deck, so they worked better at the random ones people would use for Specky. But you couldn't play Specky games on the Commodore, could you? Or could you? No, you could. No. So it wasn't crossover. No. Fact check, Dino. Look at that. Fact check, Dino. Awesome. There's your number 5s. Let's get to your number 4s. I've got you big right there, TJC. So what's your number 4?
Well, I didn't want to give it away last time, but the Amiga 500.
Yeah, that's cool.
So like I say, I got that, and it all still works. Like I say, the Amiga 500, as you mentioned earlier, Commodore didn't actually own the Amiga at first. The Amiga was a group of people that started with Jay Miner, who was obviously started Atari.
Right.
They all got together and they developed this really ahead of its time computer, which they separated everything out. So you had your CPU, whereas now you get the obviously PCs have graphics cards, sound, you know, all that sort of stuff. It's all done separately now. But the Amiga was a computer, all-in-one computer, which actually had a CPU that had different chips that controlled different parts, so it's sound chips, graphics, this, that, and the other. And that was designed by this group of people. I can't remember all their names now. And then you had, the company was called Amiga Incorporated. So they were starting to run out of money, which is what started a big argument between Atari and Commodore in the end, was because Atari, Amiga Inc. was running short of money. And then they were looking for investors. And then Atari, which the guy who used to run Commodore, was responsible for Commodore getting as big as it was, Jack Trammell, he got ousted by the money man at Commodore, because they used to argue a lot, and the money man thought he knew better, but obviously didn't, because they went bust. So he then went and bought Atari.
So was it distributed through Commodore then? Is that right?
Yeah, so basically Amiga Incorporated was a separate entity altogether, and they put it at do you remember the CES show they used to have every year, the Computer Electronics show they used to have every year, didn't they? Right. So basically they went there as Amiga Incorporated and said, right, this is what we got, look at this. And you remember, you've probably seen it on the internet, which is like a white and red checkered ball bouncing.
Right.
That was a tech demo for the Amiga computer.
No way, was it?
Which at the time was way ahead of everything. Nothing else could get near that. So, and it had the sound effect, shade, and everything, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, how did?" And they say, "This is our computer." So basically, they were looking for investors, and they were like struggling running out of money. So Jack Trammell thinking, well, Atari will lend them £500,000
Yeah.
to get going, and then thought the contract was if they reneged on paying it back by a certain time, Atari would own that computer. That would be theirs.
Right.
So then
got it.
Commodore then came in, swooped in, and bought Amiga Incorporated out, and paid Atari back the day before the thing had run out the 500.
No way, that close.
So basically, Commodore swooped in and said, "Well, we'll have that," and then released it as the Commodore Amiga.
So there are things out there without the Commodore sign on it, and then later on they put the Commodore.
Well, no, because that was just a development thing then when they'd done it. But the first computer was released on the Commodore. But obviously, that was just like a load of circuit boards together, what they'd actually then shrunk down into chips eventually for the computer itself.
Is it as big as I remember? As well? Because it was a flat thing, wasn't it? It was very flat.
Yeah, I've got it here. That's it. I've even got my Commodore mouse mat. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, so I've still got it all in the box and kit and everything. So this is the Amiga 500.
Yeah, look at the size of it. I remember you put the discs in the side, didn't you?
Yeah. 3.5 inch floppy disk.
Yeah. Because that's like twice the size of a Commodore, isn't it, really?
64. It's bigger than the 64. Yeah. But yeah, that was a hell of a lot ahead of its time. But Commodore, because they kept making silly mistakes, they released a big one which was for business, and then that was the Amiga 1000. But then this one, the Amiga 500, was basically guy came in who they employed, who then said, well, we need to diversify this, do a business one and a home one.
Yeah.
So then that's when they come up with the 0.5 meg Amiga 500, hence the name 500, because that's 500.
That's where the 500 comes from.
But that one, what I got, it's got a little switch on it. And that you got
at the front, I just noticed that little switch.
Yeah, so the little switch, that is basically there because underneath what they call the trapdoor, you open the little trapdoor, and that's the expansion slot. So it's got a 0.5 meg extra memory upgrade in the bottom of it. And that wire that comes out, certain games would not accept the 0.5 meg upgrade. So you had to switch it off and keep it 0.5 meg for certain games. But other bigger games, what needed the extra memory, you switched it on, then that would actually detect it and say, oh, the extra memory detected, and it's got a meg of RAM. Which today, on today's standards, you sit to think, a meg of RAM, what, you know. But
you see what you learn at Shabby, they're all sat there going, no way, do you know what I mean? That's awesome.
Yeah,
Shadow of the Beast and Kerry, man.
Shadow of the Beast was, how they managed to do Shadow of the Beast, they said that was just.
Here we go. Yep. Godzenon, James Pond, Lemming, Speedball, Toucan, Fodder, Moonstone. Yeah. Wow. Not to mention Sensible Soccer, Carrier Command. Yeah, it was from the Desert Wings Defender. The Crown played the ball. I loved Sensible Soccer. Loved it. Terry, didn't that early Pixar lamp stuff show up at the Amiga as tech demos?
I believe it did, John. Or something along them lines. Yeah, they used to, because, and like I said, we mentioned before in the chat, Shab, I don't know if you remember, the Farscape and Babylon 5.
Right.
The special effects were done on Amigas.
Were they really?
Amiga 4000s.
And it was that powerful back then. So
the 4000 was more of a geared towards the business side of things. So that wasn't the home computer. You could buy one, I guess, but that would be a lot of money.
Was it a success? Because it felt like a lot of people had an Amiga.
Well, the Amiga did, because what they did was they said they looked at what a supercomputer would cost them when they did the effects. Because obviously, that's for a TV show. You don't get a budget in a TV show, especially then.
Yeah.
Than what you would a movie. When you're making something like Star Wars, you're pretty much throwing money at it, didn't you? But obviously, with that, because that was a TV show, you didn't have the budget for massive sort of supercomputer things. And one of them supercomputers was mega money. So
how much was it back then? How much was an Amiga back then?
I can't remember what they were. I think they're about two or three grand for a lot of Amiga things.
Wow!
And then you got a video card. You got a video card for it, which was called a video toaster, I believe. What they used on the Babylon 5. And you used to put that in like a PC is now, where you slot the card in. You used to put that in, and that used to give it more capabilities. And they had like software that was developed for the Amiga, which they then used. They linked a load of them together, and that's how they done the effects for Babylon 5.
I never knew. Did you know that, Chase? I never knew that.
No, I didn't know it all. No.
Coxie says
they could buy could afford, with the money what it cost for one supercomputer, they could afford to buy multiple Amigas to do more with.
No way.
That's what they used it for.
Just looks
Explains
like
why the graphics.
Go on, Jason.
Explains why the graphics. I watched Babylon 5 a couple of years ago again.
I mean, obviously they're dated now because
they are, but it's still watchable. But I think if you give it another 5 years,
and
I think with graphics won't be.
Sequest DSV was done on it too.
Sequest as well was done on it. Coxie says, looks just like the Atari ST. When I found mine recently, I realised it was massive. Yeah, you forget how big they. But I was thinking because I haven't seen one obviously in years. But it is how TJC's just picked his up. Yeah.
But what I've got now, Shabs, just to show you, when I stream them, I didn't have to use that one to stream them. So I got the mini version of it.
I didn't even know they made a mini version of it.
Yes, a mini version of it, so you can play the games on it with HDMI out and stuff.
Can you still get Sensible Soccer for that? I might just,
I've got it here, Sensible Soccer.
How old is that? The mini version? When did that come out?
That's been out a few years now.
I never knew that. I remember they did it with the Spectrum because Tez has shown it on ZSR. Do you know what I mean? They redid the Spectrum.
Well, the Spectrum I got is actually a full size for the original Spectrum ZX81.
No way.
The rubber
Doctor Who
one.
effects were also created. That's the one I had, the rubber key one. Yeah, I remember that. And the tape recorder was a separate
what I've got
piece.
Is that it's the same size as that. The one they do now. Yeah, but
Doctor Who special effects were created using the Spectrum XC. I tell you what, our Tez would be proud of us lot tonight talking about Spectrums and Commodores. He'd be loving this, wouldn't he? Awesome. Well, that's brilliant, man. That's a great number 4. Right, Jason, I've got your number 4 right here. It is this. Na, 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 na. You're a big fan, aren't you, Jason, of Star Trek?
Yeah, and they're all, quite a lot of them are customs because if you ever watch the shows, they only do certain figures and basically it's easy just to make heads and do the old pop and ball job and make new customs.
Now, these are Playmates version of them, then? Are these?
Yes, they're all Playmates. Yeah. Including a couple of Sequests, actually.
Because this was a massive line, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It was, it was huge. And they covered all aspects of Star Trek. The Next Generation,
did.
And Deep Space Nine, whatever, Babylon. Like I said, I'm not
I mean, when it originally came out, I did actually collected near enough all of them. And again, it's another line that I got rid of years and years ago. And I just restarted, but I was like, well, I want to do customs as well to fill in spaces that we never got, characters we never got. And that's why there's lots more down there than there is available.
And are these all it was Playmates, wasn't it? All these ones?
All Playmates.
Yeah. What do you think of these, TJC? Did you ever get any of these?
I never got any of the figures. I think I got some of the. I'd have to check, obviously, when I have to get a chance to look through stuff. But I think they did some die cast of the ships.
Yeah, they did.
And I think I had some of them because I used to always watch the show when it was on the telly. I used to always watch it, Star Trek original series.
I bought the lighted sounded one that came out a few years ago, the Enterprise, a big one, and it was at Walmart, and it was $50. It was down to $18, so I bought that.
Yeah.
I've never opened it. And that ship right there, I found in a flea market box, that and the Enterprise as Christmas decorations. And you attach it to your lights and they come on. But apart from that, my Star Trek things, I mean, I am tempted. I saw those new ones that Nacelle are doing and they look nice, but
they do. When I saw them came out, I was like, oh, they did characters that we'd not got in Playmates line.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, but then I found out the new ones were actually bigger. So it was like, oh, well, they don't match, so I didn't bother.
So they went all out with Star Wars with this line, Jason, didn't they? They did the play sets and the vehicles and all that sort of stuff, yeah.
Oh, they did a lot of Star Trek. I mean, I can't tell you how many figures there, but it's way over 100.
There's many of these because I'm only just saying, every time I go to somewhere, there's always some of these, and they're like $5, $10 package. But are any of these that are sought after, Jason? Like, that people.
There was 3 very sought after back in the day,
right?
And that's actually the movie versions of Scotty and Kirk. And they was going for about 40, 50 quid at the time. But because now...
I know Playmates tried to bring these back, didn't they, a couple of years ago? And it didn't do that. What was it, a line of about 12 or something? That was it. Just the end, didn't it? Because I like it. I do like them. I think they make great displays, this, Jason. I think it's a lovely display.
I want to display them. I mean, I've got more Star Trek there. I've got from Generations and onwards, but they're in my bedroom where these are pride and place in my living room.
Yeah, are you still collecting these as well, Jay? So when you go out and you see them...
I'm still doing customs of the OT.
Yeah.
But I'm still picking up the odd Generations. So I'm literally doing bridge cruises. I'm not doing the aliens because, well, I've been down that route before and I ain't got enough space for them. So I'm just keeping to the bridge cruise.
Did they do the thing? Because you got to think in the series, when they used to do the original series, you used to get characters that might only be in one episode. And they'd be popular, but they'd only ever be in one or a couple of episodes.
Like they did with Star Wars, a couple of scenes. But
did they do figures of them as well?
Yeah, they basically did a lot of the characters that was only in one episode. Basically for the OG, the original 66, if it was 66, I'm sure it was. And they did literally had a license to do virtually any figure they wanted. Yeah, they did. Cool. But a lot of the bridge crew, any aliens they would do. But again, for like bridge crews and all that, they didn't really do. They just did the main lot, and that was it. I haven't even got the motion picture ones yet. But at some point, I do want to get the motion picture.
You'll probably find though the licensing that they used to have for things then was quite loose in the way of, whereas now it's all likenesses and this and the other. Can't do this, can't do that. We've got to see if you got permission for that. And that's just gone stupid now, isn't it? But then if you probably had the license to saying Star Trek license, you can do what you like with it. Any character and you can do it.
Well, I mean, this toy line must have been expensive too, because it's not like the Star Wars where you got the films at the time. Obviously, it's got bigger now through TVC and the shows and all that sort of stuff. So, but this had TV shows, it had comics, it had movies. And did they base the figures on all aspects of it? It wasn't just...
No, it was just literally from the TV shows. I don't think they did anything from the anime show. They didn't do anything from the comics. It was literally just the TV shows from 66, Generations, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, including Enterprise, but then Enterprise went up one scale, and then that was it. And then I think the market just dropped out of them, and
didn't just fall through. Same here, Jason says, John, I was disappointed that the new cell figures are not 6. I thought they were. Are they bigger? They're 7-inch or something?
Yeah, bigger. They're literally, I think they're 7-inch or 8-inch. What's a shame, really.
I would like to file a formal protest to the amount of Star Trek being shown as of late. Nerds. Star Trek, Jason, we can lace daisies in each other's hair and call each other anyone else still trying to wrap their head around the fact that Captain Kirk has actually been into space in his 90s? I know. It's weird. He looks fantastic, doesn't he, for his 90s? He looks amazing. One of those things... One thing, Jason, why do you have Star Wars movie stuff behind the Star Wars plays instead of Star? You're trying to kick off a franchise fight. Absolutely brilliant. Coxie, if anyone else was going to go into space, it was going to be Shatner. I've got to agree with that. To tell the truth. Yeah.
Technically, Scotty, you went into space before he did.
Oh, yeah, he did. I remember. On it. They went up to space. Yeah. But I like the way these look. They are colourful, aren't they? And they look good on display or whatever. Yeah, I don't mind them at all,
And, there's one thing Playmates didn't do. If you see the OG ones, you see the gold, the two top shelves. Yeah. You see the gold female uniforms. They never did gold. They never released them uniforms for the females. They did it for the males, but they didn't do for the females.
Awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. Yep, love it. Absolutely brilliant. Right. Might as well get on to your number 3s already, boys. Here we go. Right, number 3. Jason, I'll start with you. Lego Star Wars. Look at that bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable, that, isn't it?
That is unbelievable.
Oh, it is.
Is it massive?
Yeah, it is quite big.
How long did it take you?
Took me about 3 days. 3 to 4 days. Not a constant build either.
So what year is this, Jason?
Well, yeah, I think it's only like a couple of years old, but
right. So this is the brand new one, then, basically.
Oh yes. Being that I couldn't get the HasLab, and I thought I have the second best, so I have the Lego version instead.
It is cool. I mean, look at all the detail and stuff that's inside, and the jabber. I think that's absolutely awesome.
I do like to know if anybody's actually done a custom Lego version to actually fit Star Wars figures in.
Yeah, they must have done. They must have. Yeah. Look at that. That's pretty cool inside, though. I mean, it's like I say, I'll buy certain Lego ones that are a bit like the Goonies. I had to have that. Do you know what I mean? And so I suppose this, being such an iconic ship as well, it's well worth having, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you collect a lot of Legos? Or
I do. I do now, thanks to my brother. So yeah, I've got a fair bit, but I literally don't collect everything of Lego. I collect Star Wars, movie Lego stuff, and Batman.
How many? Lego, you could go on forever, can't you? They do everything now, don't they? So if you collected so much, you just never have the room for it.
How many figures come with it? Says our Des. How many characters, goons, come with the barge?
I think there was about 12, if I remember rightly. But this is not a proper Lego one. That is. It's the Chinese version.
Is he? Well, look. God, I wouldn't have known that. No. I got that. We got me and Scuba got the Christmas Story house through a Chinese company. I tell you what, I was so impressed. Comes with the lights, comes with everything. Can you get a light thing for this, or how familiar is the Lego one to this? Is it completely the same, or is it a little bit different?
Completely the same. I mean, the only thing I've noticed in the last couple of years with the knockoffs, they're now making the figures a little bit worse for wear. So I think now it's like, if we make the figures look knockoff, we don't care about you doing our shit, but we're more. So the figures sometimes are really bad, but the vehicles perfect. It's just unreal. And
does it stick together all right, Chase? It's not loose.
Yeah,
it sticks together.
No, it sticks fine. Sticks fine.
And how much was this one then compared to the original? Because I know the original one was.
The original is about £400, and that cost me £60.
See, I'm all for that. A lot of people are saying, "Oh no." I mean, Zoe's in the chat as well. I wonder what Zoe thinks of this. Because it's just a display. So if you're saving yourself, this was only 60 quid. That was it.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome.
What
about you for Lego, TJC? Do you like it, Lego?
Yeah, I've got a few Lego sets myself, but obviously
for yourself or for Jace.
Well, no, I used to have all the Technic stuff when I was a kid. So I used to have the Technic Lego, and you had the car and with the pop-up headlights, working gearbox, and the engine work and everything, and gull wing doors and all that sort of stuff. I used to have all that, and I used to have if you remember, now they're all electronic with little motors. But now, when I used to have them, we used to have the digger, the big bucket and everything with the pump up air ones. You used to pump them. They used to and I used to lift up and do all the movements with the air. I've got a load of them in the loft.
I think it's just superb. I'm a massive fan of that. I like it a lot. But like I say, it's never bothered me whether it's Lego or not, because I know thousands of those. I know Steph. I know a few of them not bought the Lego one; they've bought the off version of it, and they've been fine, haven't they? They've really enjoyed it.
Jace has got a lot of the Star Wars Lego ships and stuff. He's built a load of them. But
The Jaws one I had to get as well. I remember getting the Jaws one the Christmas before.
Jace got that one. He loved that one.
Well, that's what I do when I got the Imperial Short. I like to buy a big set at Christmas. I know if I went down this route, again, going back to what I've said before about Iron Pulse, if I go down the Lego line, I'm costing a fortune. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it will.
The one he's currently building, he's got the, you've seen that big one, Shabby, the Mario Kart.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the big one, Mario, sitting in his cart. He's got that one he's building at the minute. So
nice. Did that Christmas say I was going to box for G? Oh, must be Italian, JT. Must be Italian.
Yeah, great.
No, I just saw it and Scuba got it, and I thought, oh, I'd love that. And then my wife surprised me and got it me for Christmas, and it comes with the lights and the little thing, and it's just you can see it's over there. But it's on my Instagram. I've got a Shabby's Toy Room, which is my other Instagram. I've got pictures of it on that. But I'm all for this. Is it roughly the same size as the Lego one as well, Jason?
Yeah, it's actually the same.
It's exactly.
Yeah, it's actually the same. The only thing I found hard,
I agree,
was there was a couple of pieces on the front that I couldn't put on. And my brother, when I showed my brother, he went, they're actually the same as the Lego ones. They're just as the B word to put on. So I was like, I looked at the pieces. I went, do they notice? No. Right.
I don't know. I just love Lego to pieces. If you had to get a Lego set though, which one would you get?
I would get the Death Star, and I think I would have to get the one that Martin's got because it is a display piece. And
that one that it's like you only see, it's like the circle. That one like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Again, it'd be a knockoff version, but I ain't paying £1,000 for a Lego kit. So it'd be about 60 quid in Thailand. So
is that how good that's on then? It's like what G-Force is saying here. He says the only difference with most Lego knockoffs is that they don't say Lego on the side. So they've got to that quality, haven't they, already?
Well, they've probably just got the molds, didn't they? And they've just got them all.
Yeah. And they won't call it Star Wars in the corner. There's so many different names. It could be Space Wars or it'd be something else. And it's like, but you know what it is by seeing it. You know, it's quite funny how different names they got for Star Wars.
Yeah, Space Wars or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Space Wars barge or something.
Awesome. Right, TJC, what's your number 3, pal?
Funny enough, you mentioned it earlier, Shabs.
I've enjoyed this tonight. This has been a great top 5. This is awesome. Oh, yeah. Now that's the one I want. Yeah. I
Super
love
Nintendo.
that.
So, I got that. The original Super
I've
Nintendo.
just got more nostalgia for this. I think it's because, like I say, maybe I'm at an age where I've just vividly remember playing this with my brothers. Do you know what I mean?
But also, Shabs, they do a mini version of that now.
No way.
Really?
Yeah.
So you could get a mini. I've got one up there. And like I say, if I'm going to stream from it, rather than try and convert that, which I've got adapters where you can convert it to an upscale it. But rather than do that, you just get one of them mini versions, put the ROM on there, because as long as you got the ROM, you're not breaking any law because you've got the actual cartridge.
Yeah.
So as long as you got the original ROM, you can put it on there, and no one can say anything because you've actually got it. So
I just
put the ROM on there, and then you stream it, and that's 720p straight away HDMI out.
Wow.
Streaming,
Yeah, I don't know, Double Dragon. I remember the football games on track and field.
Double Dragon. You got like the Mario's. You've got like Mario Kart, the original ones, and
Super Nintendo Charmers. He was on The Simpsons. Yeah, I suppose if I had to just to go back to what we were saying at the start, if I had to go out and get a console just for memories and nostalgia, it'd be that one, Super Nintendo. I used to like the big thick cartridge you stick in the top of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a few. I mean, I didn't get all them out, but like I say, I got a few.
Yeah. How often would you go back and play these though? I mean,
I've played that quite a lot because I used to play the hell out of Street Fighter 2 on it.
Street Fighter 2, yeah.
Street Fighter 2 used to have like F-Zero, the racing game, and used to have all them sort of things. The Mario's obviously Super Mario World with Yoshi.
Yeah. I just watched them Super Mario Galaxy 2 nights ago. I loved it.
Yeah, my little boy watched cinema. Watched that. He loved that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was already. I thought, I'll watch that with him, and I thought it was. And it's funny that because like I said, I'm not really a Nintendo fan going forward, but I remember Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach, and I bought the figures as well when them figures came out a couple of years back for the first movie. I bought all them, and they were really good. But the games, Super Nintendo, man. It was just awesome. Do you remember Super Nintendo, Jason?
I do.
Well, that was the age-old argument, wasn't it? Because a lot of people, you couldn't afford to have them both.
No.
I was lucky that I had both. I had the Mega Drive as well.
Yeah.
So I bought both. So I had best of both worlds, really. You had all the sports games on the Mega Drive. So you had Madden football and everything and all that sort of stuff on the Mega Drive. And then you had, obviously, the Super Nintendo with your Mario and, like, Zeldas and all them sort of games. So I had both, best of both worlds, really. But a lot of people, they'd normally only get one, and they'd actually be a fanboy, effectively, for that console manufacturer. So you'd either have a Nintendo fan or a Sega. But I had them both because I just used to like the games themselves rather than saying I'm going to stick with one. I used to have them all.
It's just important to you as a kid to have these and you play them and all that sort of stuff.
That's the difference. Whereas now, how to put it, that's faceless now, isn't it? Because you play online, and like I say, when we play, obviously we know each other and everything like that, so we know you. But if you're playing online on modern stuff, you don't know who you're playing half the time. There's just someone in the name come up, you don't know who it is. But with these consoles back then, that was a thing. You used to put more than one controller and you'd be playing together. That'd be you'd all be sitting on the sofa, group of friends come around, get some snacks and stuff. You'd all be sitting there playing Street Fighter, Winner Stay On, or something like that.
Because as we've got over, obviously, and I moved, and my younger brother moved, and our size stayed there. It was never it's a lovely memory for me. Because that's the time I spent with my brothers, all three of them. Do you know what I mean? And
because you'd all get around it, and you got to say you'd get the controller throwing moments where some people would say,
we'd kick off. We'd always make my little brother make the cups of tea. Do you know what I mean? He'd always have to go make the tea. And
so
I just loved
them
it.
times. That was good. You get all around that same console in front of the same TV, and you'd all be sitting there. And you got to say, as you went later on, you'd have obviously the later Nintendos. If you remember, you got the Nintendo 64 later on, didn't you? Where you play GoldenEye and you'd have 4-player split screen shooting each other and stuff. But you'd still all be in the same front of the same TV, same console with 4 controllers. You'd be sitting there all thinking, that was the simple aspect of it. You'd all get together and have a proper laugh, wouldn't you?
Got me in Mini Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Says
I've got both. Stuff. The original NES and the Super NES. Yeah.
Jonathan said I always sold my old console to buy the new one. Right.
People, again, because a lot of people probably had to.
Is that the one that had the Superstar? I think it was. That was the Superstar.
Yeah, you had three of them. Three of them.
Yeah,
you had 3 Super Star Wars games. Yeah.
Oh, birthday boy is here.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Dario.
Happy birthday.
Biker's birthday. Nice to see you, Biker. Happy birthday, pal. Ian's turned up. Hi, Ian. Nice. Wow, everyone's turned up to see you, lads. Okay. Our pal Jason. Good morning from down. Good morning, Jason. Lovely to see you. So, yeah, that's where my memories come from, is that one. And I think that's one of the thing about top fives, I suppose. It's the stories that go with it, innit? Yeah. It's just, nice. So like your mates come round or you go to their house. And at the time, but I suppose in TJC, that's probably why I enjoy playing the game on the Sunday with you lot. Because it's roughly the same concept, isn't it? You just sat around, you've worked all week, you just have a day off and you play your video
like you said, we've talked about this sort of thing before, but when we were kids, you'd only really be playing games if the weather was horrendous outside or something like that. And you think, I can't go out on my BMX or my skateboard.
That's why I never fall for this thing.
Or can't play football. But you'd say, we'll just switch the Nintendo on or whatever. We'll have a bit of a buzz on that till it stops raining.
That's why I don't fall for this thing where kids don't play with toys anymore. It's something because it's not as if we didn't have game consoles as a kid. We did, but I 100% agree with you. You were on your bike, you were playing with your mates, you were playing football, and so in other words, you had a and don't get me wrong, we played it till late on in the night, especially on a Friday or a Saturday. You got school in the morning, you did play it, but it wasn't the only thing when we were kids. Do you know what I mean? So I
basically you'd be out on your BMX trying to kill yourself on a building site, making ramps out of bricks and planks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then if you survived the day without having to go to A&E, which, let's be honest, not all of us did, then you'd get and as soon as it started getting dark and your mum say, well, indoors, so like street lights are on, indoors, and then you get in and you say, well, can so-and-so come in so we can play a little bit, and then you'd be sitting there with your mates, wouldn't you?
Your mate would come round for tea, and then you do that. Or like it's like if your mum had to work late, whatever, you go to one of your mates' house. The great days out. I remember I went from Atari ST to Sega Mega Drive to PlayStation Play. That's what we did. I don't think there was a certain time, Coxie, that in my house we had 2 consoles and we swapped them over. I think we went from 1 to 1.
Yeah, I was the same.
And then when the PlayStation came out, boys, that was it for me. I never went to Xbox. I never went any. I just stayed with PlayStation. You know.
I think a lot of it, Shabs, for me was the fact that they're starting to try and go back that way now, but back then you used to get exclusives on certain consoles.
Yeah, you did.
So basically, if you want to play a certain game, you had to have that console to play it on. So obviously, Nintendo hasn't changed. You only get their stuff, first party stuff on their console. But you used to get like Xbox and all that sort of stuff would have certain games that you couldn't get on PlayStation, and PlayStation vice versa. So obviously, that's the reason why I ended up getting them all, because you want to play certain games.
Yeah, that makes perfect. But although GeForce says something here, and I'll agree with this, he says my consoles were handheld games, and I did have a few of them: the Donkey Kong, the Mario, the little squared handheld ones.
What the screen Game and Watch.
I remember the one that was doubled as well. You opened it up like a book, and
it's Game and Watch. They used to open up. You used to have all the Nintendo, Donkey Kong, and all them. Yeah.
Some of them are mega expensive now as well, aren't they? Yeah. I know GeForce has picked up a couple. I think he picked up a basketball game or something. And I know every time I've gone out with GeForce, he's always picked one up or seen one. He says handheld games, Pong, Atari 2600, NES, Sega Genesis. Genesis is the Mega Drive, in it, basically. PS1, PS2. Kids don't play with toys anymore. They can't get near the toy house because of us. Well, you got a good point there, JT. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they can't do it because Shabby keeps bloody buying it all. Oh, awesome. There's your number 3s. Let's get to your number 2s. I've had over 35 people watching us all tonight, so I really appreciate you all coming over and supporting me, Jason, and our TJC. So thank you all so much. And if you're watching the replay, I appreciate that too. Right, TJC, you're there. So what's your number 2, buddy?
Right. This is one of my favourite consoles. And you probably didn't have this one, Shab. You probably didn't have this one. But that was a real sort of like first one to do a lot of things, but then obviously didn't actually last as well as it probably should have.
Right.
And that was the Sega Dreamcast.
Did I have a Dreamcast? No, I don't think I did. No. GameCube. Is that the one that did it the same way with the discs or whatever?
The GameCube was a Nintendo. So obviously the discs were tiny on that. They were like tiny little CD. But this one is obviously a CD, but that was the discs on this, rather than go Blu-ray, they developed their own disc format called a GD-ROM, which was a gigabyte disc.
Right.
And they developed that with Yamaha. So obviously that's why this was, I think that hurt this in the end. If they'd have put a Blu-ray drive in it, that might have actually fought a better battle against the PS2 when it came out.
Was this the first console to do discs? No. The
PlayStation 1 had discs, didn't it, if you remember?
Oh, so that was after the PlayStation 1. Because I remember PlayStation 1 was 95.
This was the first 128-bit console.
Right, okay.
So this came out before the PS2. So the PS2 came out not long after this. This came out first. So they got ahead of the game and it was doing really well. But something you take for granted now, this was the first ever console to have a built-in modem.
Oh, right, okay. I remember PlayStation 2 had one of them as well, didn't it? And
you had to buy it and put it in, though. So it didn't come with it.
Oh.
But this one came with it. So this has actually got, as old as it is now, this is actually a 56K, like your normal dial-up modem, what came with it.
God, I can imagine that now. Yeah,
so you could play certain games online, but a lot of them were like, if you had like racing games, you could download ghost races of other people's stuff, what they've done.
Yeah.
And you could race against the ghosts of their best times and stuff. So basically you had that, but also another innovation was...
That's interesting, pal. I never knew that.
That's the controller.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember looking at that, yeah.
But you used to have rumble packs and stuff, what you put in it to obviously get the vibration back. But also the memory card used to double up as its own little computer.
Oh. Wow. I bet this was pricey back then, wasn't it, for all this stuff?
That was 200, I think it was $299 or something like that when it came out.
And how much was the PlayStation?
It wasn't mega expensive, it was average cost. But this used to get Sonic Adventure, which was one of the first release games they had. And these little creatures in the game called KOs or something like that. KO creatures, something like that. I can't remember what they were called. But remember the Tamagotchis?
I do, yeah.
When you used to actually feed them and all that. They had a little game where you could be in the game, you put them in this thing inside the game. download to your memory card, and you could walk away and you could be sitting there feeding it and like doing that and keeping it and like build it up and build its level up and stuff, and then put it back in the game when you actually play.
So this thing took over the Genesis or the Mega Drive. This was the next one.
No, the Genesis was 16-bit. Then you had the Saturn. Sega Saturn was a 32-bit.
Yeah,
which they had that didn't do very well because the architecture is a bit difficult to program for. So it didn't do as well, obviously. So the PlayStation kicked the hell out of that because the PlayStation was easy to develop for. But then, they brought this one out ahead of time. So they beat PlayStation to the punch. That was doing really well. But I think if they'd have done a DVD drive in this, like the PS2 was a DVD player built in, wasn't it? So basically, you could put your films on it. But if they'd put a DVD drive in this, you'd have been able to probably play films on it and stuff like that. Then that would have probably level pegged it for a little bit longer, but that sort of died as soon as the PS2 came out.
Well, I remember at the time because DVDs were expensive back then, and I think a lot of people bought the PlayStation, especially the PlayStation 2, because you could watch DVDs on them.
Well, so basically, because they bundled that in there, and at the time, PlayStation 2 was about 400 quid or something if you bought one new.
Yeah,
but a DVD player was near $1,000.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was weird, wasn't it? I think that's why we bought the PlayStation 2
have it as a cheap DVD player. So basically, a lot of people who bought them might not want to play games; they just want to play the films.
Dreamcast was cool, but bugger all games came out of it. It wasn't
a lot of the games that come out of it. They fell out with EA.
Yeah,
Sega did on the Saturn, so they fell out with EA. So a lot of the games like Madden and all them didn't come out for the Dreamcast. So Sega had their own one, Sega Sports Football and stuff like that, which were good games, and the basketball one was really good and everything as well. So, but because of that, they'd lost that little bit of momentum with sort of licensees and stuff to make games from third parties. A lot of the games that came out for it, which were brilliant, because the Dreamcast was a cut down Naomi arcade board. So the arcade machine you'd go and play in the arcade, like your Crazy Taxi and your Ferrari 355. Basically, what was in that arcade machine was the Dreamcast was a cut down version of that with slightly less memory. Apart from that, it was the same. So basically, they could port it straight across so easy. So that's why you got all the arcade perfect ports of everything like Crazy Taxi, Ferrari 355, 18-wheeler, and all them sort of games, because they just port them straight over.
Was it the last console for Sega, that one? The Dreamcast?
That was the last one. After that, they just went games only.
It says Coxie says it was the Betamax of the console world, and then PlayStation was a hard act to follow. Says Fun Confet's here, I Fun Confet. Gilster's here too, I Gilster. JT says PlayStation and Dreamcast was a bit like video versus Betamax. So yeah, Coxie says the same thing. Are we agreeing with that then? Yeah.
Yeah, it was, because like I say, it came out and done a lot of firsts, which, you know, the internet, because like I say, you're on 56k, you didn't have broadband then. You just had like your normal dial-up. So basically, it had a modem, and you could go online with it, and you could get a keyboard for it as well, so you could just go on surf on web with it. Do you think
the PlayStation did though basically ruin it? It's like, no, everyone want you basically instead.
The biggest thing was the PlayStation 2 had a DVD drive in it.
That's why we bought ours. I'll be honest, I remember it coming out
because they did proprietary disc thing with Yamaha, which made the gigabyte disc.
Yeah. Because when was the PlayStation 2? 2001, wasn't it? The PlayStation 2 around there. Yeah, it's 95, and I think it was 2001.
The Dreamcast was 1999. That came out September 99.
Yeah,
so basically, it was ahead of PlayStation 2. But because, like I say, that if they'd have just gone with DVD, and you could play films on it.
Well, that's the memory for me. I vividly remember buying the PlayStation 2 simply because I remember saying, "Well, we can watch videos and films on this." So, and it was under 200 quid, like I said. And I think that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm not trying to pull a price out of my ass, but I'm sure back then DVDs were like 500 quid, 600. You know, they were expensive.
I mean, there are certain games on the Dreamcast which are worth quite a lot of money now. So, you think you got Marvel vs. Capcom Fighter from the arcade, which is a direct port, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. They fetch quite a bit of money now if you got the game.
Wow.
So
the Sony PR guys played a blinder getting the PS1 all involved in the club scene at the time. Yeah, it was. They did that. I remember seeing that their merchandise everywhere and so forth. And George says, was given a Dreamcast, it's in my loft somewhere. Was there not a lot of games for it then?
I've got quite a few, to be fair. I've got quite a few games for, and like I say, you had
Gilster.
you had a lot of games on there. Which there's one game on there which is an adventure game called Shenmue,
Right.
which was done by the same guy who did Outrun and all them. He moved on. He done this thing. It's got a real world sort of like game. You're walking through, and you'd even go get a job in it. So you'd go get a job. You'd drive a forklift, and you'd be loading trucks up. But then you could walk into an arcade, and you could play all the old arcade games like Space Harrier, and you'd actually play them. That'd be like playing a game within a game, and all that. That was really ahead of its time for what it was. But that just didn't last because everyone then went to the PS2 thinking, I'm going to get that because it's got a DVD, and Sony was backed it and had everyone behind them, so they had all the big games coming out for it. And
it was the price as well. I remember it was $199 for the PlayStation 2. That's what it was. You know what I mean? You're like, but in a way, double expensive back then, but you were like bargain. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I upgraded my PS2 because of the DVD play. So there's another one that did it as well. And PlayStation 3 for the Blu-ray. Still got both.
Thing again. But the PS3 sort of shot themselves in the foot because when they first released it, the first PS3 they did had a PS2 in the front of it, effectively, so you could put all your PS2 games in it.
Right. Right.
But then, because the expense of it was mega money for the original version of the PS3, it was a really expensive console and didn't sell very well because of the price. So what they then did was they took the PS2 compatibility out of it and stripped a load of the sockets out because you used to get memory stick slot and everything in the front of it. They took all them sort of things out, stripped it all down, minimized it, made it put a smaller thingy in it, like smaller memory drive.
Well, that's why you couldn't play the PS2 games on it.
Yeah, so basically the original one you could because that had all backwards compatibility, but they took all that out to then make it cheaper to try and push sales. That's what they did.
Yeah, they called it. Was it the PlayStation 3 Slim or something? They called it. It was a slim.
They did a normal size one first. It was the same, but then they did a slim one later on. But the normal size one was the same, except they had less ports. It didn't have a. You couldn't play PS2 games straight in it, and they just done it to make it cheaper.
I would like a nice NES top loader in the games I used to play: Skate or Die, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Contra, etc. Yeah, and then George says still has his PlayStations along with the games, including the Time Crisis games with the guns.
Yeah,
wow.
I've got that. Yeah.
So, would you ever go back and play? I think that's what it is because Coxie said before about still having these PlayStation 3 too. I have, but they're stored away and I won't pull them out and play them again.
I do if I get the chance. I mean, I didn't get a lot of time to be fair, but obviously, the PS3 is they haven't done it where you can play PS3 games on a PS4, which because of the architecture of the PS3, they reckon that's too difficult.
Well, they're still doing it with the PS5. It's like we said yesterday, Luke wanted to play with us, and no, you have to get the PS4 version or something for that. You can't cross over, which is a bit sad, really, in this day and age.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just Sony because they're not interested. They're not interested now in you playing the previous one. They want you to buy the new one and buy all the new stuff.
Yeah.
So PS3
had the best Blu-ray player at the time, but the cost killed it. Was how the Xbox 360 got so popular. Was it a lot cheaper, the Xbox 360?
The Xbox 360, they did. That was another VHS Betamax issue.
Yeah.
Because you had the Xbox had HD DVD.
Right, okay.
And then you had Blu-ray. So that was your two competing types for your 4K.
I never knew that. What put me off Xbox to me was batteries in the controllers. I couldn't be arsed going through all that. Do you know what I mean? Like changing batteries.
You had like another one come out. You had two formats coming out because when I used to, I worked in Blockbuster and used to actually have them both to rent. So basically, you used to have the HD DVD, which was the Microsoft-backed version of the obviously full HD films, and then you had Sony's sort of one. Sony and Samsung's extra what they put together was Blu-ray, and obviously Blu-ray won out, so Blu-ray done it. But a lot of the HD DVD stuff they didn't have on Blu-ray. They had to then add on later, sort of thing. What they could do with HD DVD. Yeah, I think it was interactivity stuff was better on HD DVD. I never had the drive, so I don't know. But a lot of people said that was more interactive when you're doing something in the menus.
Yeah,
but then Blu-rays won that one as well because obviously Betamax. Going back to that, Betamax was Sony.
Right.
So Betamax was Sony. So Sony lost that one, but they won the Blu-ray one.
Got you. He had one of the first PS3s, had 4 USB slots. Unfortunately, it constantly broke, so I traded it for a new version. Oh, we've got somebody else here. Look.
Lord John.
Lord Tags.
Hi, Oh, nice to see you. Coxie says, I stripped down my PS3 to the bare bones recently to clean it as it was getting too hot. And my God, there were about 150 parts. Somehow I fixed it and got it back together. I tried to do it once when my son had to buy him a new one, his PlayStation. So I thought, I'll go on YouTube. And you see those YouTube people fixing PlayStation 3s. It'll be a doddle. I tell you what, I had to buy him a new one. Hiya, John. Nice to see you. Excuse me. Blu-ray versus HD DVD was a very
it was. That was quite a quick war. It was nowhere near as long as the VHS.
Geek Strong still owns his Xbox XD. I don't think I've ever had an Xbox. I think my son got one, but I never got one. Xbox 360 was around $299, but the PlayStation was close to $600.
Yeah, PlayStation 3 was mega money.
Wow.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's saying hello to Lord John. Perfect. Right, number 2 for you, Jason, is this right here. What are these? These are awesome.
They're Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
They're figures that came out in Betty Lem ones. They came out in 1992. Basically, I got into the show while me and my brother was actually in Thailand. And it was actually a favour to watch on the Netflix over there.
Yeah,
so
I was a big fan of Sailor Moon. Yeah,
I loved that.
Yeah, he did.
So I bought them, and I bought some other Sailor Moon stuff as well. I mean, you can't beat these early ones.
No, my daughter Suki likes these sort of. She's got a collection full of these, not Sailor Moon, but these anime characters. And I remember our side collecting the Mon Chabon ones, which were really expensive, really nice ones. And he's got. So I've always had admiration through other people collecting these, and I think these are all Japanese, right? Every one of them.
Yes, they're all. Yeah, the whole lot of them. They're all Japanese. And like you say, we've got the boxes, and it was just it was actually all in one shop in Bangkok where it's all import from Japan. It's all secondhand Japanese stuff, and I went, but they're the new figures you can get now.
How tall are these, Jason?
8-inch, I would say. About 8-inch, maybe. Yeah, I'll say 8-inch. They're bigger than 6. Yeah, about 8. I would say.
Are they expensive, Jason?
No, you can find more in knockoff certain companies. Average cost is about a tenner.
So when you get these, are you going abroad to buy these, or are you getting them through the UK?
I bought a couple of them overseas, but some of them I've also. See the two in the middle? They was actually gifted to me by my little brother. Because he started defection, I had to get the rest. And the rest I bought either from AliExpress or I bought in Thailand.
He says, how did I know Jason would have some waifu? So is this what this style of character is called, waifu?
Yeah, it's sort of. And, it is a nickname for a lot of anime ones.
Lord Sag says, I'm Sailor Moon, champion of justice. On behalf of the moon, I will right wrongs and triumph over evil, and that means you. I remember the theme song, We Are the Ones Called Sailor Moon. I remember that. So that quote sounds so much better in Scandinavia.
Oh, yes.
Blimey, look at them. You can almost see why they were made. Yeah, they are super cool. I think they're awesome to have. And we've got a few more pictures here. You've got Lego versions of them as well.
Yeah.
Were they custom made, Jason, or were they?
The Lego ones are customs that was done by a certain company, and you can't find them much now. But yeah, and funny thing, I found them actually ones I found in Thailand. Sai watched one of my videos, and he actually messaged me and went, "Where did you get them figures from?"
Yeah.
I got my lot from Thailand. So I literally messaged him about a day later. I said, "Don't worry, mate, you got a set." He's like, "What?" I just found a set for you on somewhere.
Him and Clive are the same as you. They love the custom Legos. Him and Clive, they always picked them up. So yeah, they're awesome, man. They're really, really cool. Coxie says £1,000 airfare to Thailand, and then they're only a tenner each. Fucking Jason.
Yeah, but you don't just buy them, you know.
So there's the
You
Lego
go there to
version.
see the sights as well.
What's that?
You go there to see the sights as well, Jason, isn't it? Not
See,
just to go get.
Oh, yeah.
These are cool. Planet Girl. I've never heard of this.
These
Is that
are
just another name
pirates.
for it?
No, they're pirates. They're bootlegs.
Oh, okay.
Of Sailor
They
Moon.
are. Yeah, of Sailor Moon. Done at the same time, like He-Man and Star Wars and other lines. They even did bootlegs for Sailor Moon and stuff. And I've got to
Are they
admit,
bendy figures, Jason? Like the
no, it's actually the same as double figures. There's plastic figures that got no movement whatsoever. I mean, you can't even call them. You can't even call them play figures, really. So they don't move.
Are they 3¾ inch, Jace? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might be just a bit more bigger, but I think they probably are.
I think they look awesome on the card. The card works awesome. Look at that.
I am trying to find the right bubbles to reboot back on.
Right.
And I got to admit, I found these in Mega Plaza, and the guy who was selling them, there was something like £2 each.
Was that all the way from knockoffs?
Yeah. And I went to the guy. I had the lot. He looked at me like, "Huh? Really? You want these? Yeah, I have the lot. Thank you, mate. See you later."
That was a tenner basically for all them. That's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
John did something today. He ordered a Shockwaves Transformers 30MDLX premium figure. He just got ordered. Wow.
Nice.
Spending some dog. Big Stubbs' wife is a huge Sailor Moon fan. Her collection is massive. Yeah. How did you get into Sailor Moon? How did you get into anime from the beginning, Jason?
When I was a child, I watched lots of anime. Yeah, and I haven't. I've never
and things like that.
Kira, Robotech, and other stuff. I've never really stopped watching.
No,
anime.
our Sai's a massive fan of it. Our Sai, I never got into it, and I always thought, well, maybe Sai got into it through his artwork. But Sai said, no, if you actually, and my daughters are Jujutsu Kaisen, they love, and I think our Super was on Tub Thumpers last season, saying all the animes that she loves. So
yeah, I'm always on Crunchyroll. I am watching anime, and yeah, it's something that holds a big heart, you know.
It's a massive franchise, though, isn't it, Jason? Let's be honest. It's not a small thing, is it?
No, it's not cheap.
I just think it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Did you ever get into it, TJC, anime and stuff like that? I didn't.
Not so much. I think that was because I think when you used to go to the video shops, finding any anime, a lot of them in a lot of the video shops, because you didn't have the bigger ones then. Blockbuster and that weren't about when we were young.
Yeah,
that was obviously far later once they bought Ritz and people like that out. But you used to get like a lot of the ones where you used to watch sort of like some of the anime stuff, like Akira and stuff. You could sometimes get them, but you didn't used to have a lot of it about.
I remember coming on once and I saw Sai sat at the back table and he's doing a book the other way. You know, not left to right to left. And I thought, what the front is he doing? And then he explained to me, this is how anime does it in Japan. The books are from the back, and so he was. That was a memory from when I was a teenager. So I loved all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Let's have a look. Is Crunchyroll worth the sub, Jason?
Yeah, I do. It's worth. I think it's about £8 or £9 a month. And
what's Crunchyroll?
It's basic anime. It's a whole channel of anime. All straight. As soon as it's shown in Japan, 2 hours later, it's on Crunchyroll.
I have watched a few of them, though, Jason, because through my job, you know, I make pop culture furniture, as you all know, and people will ask me for this. I'll do commission work. The last one I did was Solo Leveling, and I've never heard of it. Leveling.
Oh, brilliant!
So watched it and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I've done Bleach, I've done Demons, what is it, Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer, yeah.
I've done, so I've done it. If you go on my page on Facebook, you'll see all my furniture stuff there. So I have done it and I have watched it, but it's not something I've stuck with. Although my daughter has, you have, Sai did, you know. So I wonder what
there's so much. Yeah. Like your daughter would know, there is so much anime that gets released a year, sometimes you're lucky for a show to get carried on to next year. What actually is really annoying, but you get into something, you're like, oh, brilliant. And there's never a second season, where some things will, like Solo Leveling, other shows will, but the other things they just won't.
Well, I watched that One Piece and I didn't realise that's up to like 10,000 episodes. That, I mean, that's been going and going and going, One Piece for years.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I think it even might be the 90s. I think. I'm not too sure.
G4 says, is it stereotypical or racist to say every Asian lad in my computer graphics draws anime girls? I don't think it is. I think it's just its own concept in it, really, to tell you the truth. There's nothing, what I mean, TJC, is there's nothing like anime, is there? It's definitely its own thing, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a bit, I think what it is, the style of it is quite graphic in some ways, isn't it? I think that's what a lot of people get at, because they don't tone anything down, do they? Anime is just, that is what it is. They don't tone anything down at all.
I was under the thing as well, because I'm not going to lie to you, but I don't know the difference between anime and manga. Do you know what I mean? And our site put it in as manga fandango, and I thought, what's the difference? Is it one's meant to be a bit more darker than the other one, or is
manga is meant to be a lot darker, more glory, and anime was meant to be a bit more lighter. But I think slowly, anime is slowly going the same way, but it's still very light. Where manga it can be dark.
Geek Strong says Crunchyroll recently got hacked in March. I actually think that's how all my accounts got hacked, because of Crunchyroll. That's right, because he did get hacked, didn't he, Geek Strong? Wow. So it's like a streaming service, Crunchyroll.
Yeah, no streaming service. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I just love it. So what do you look for then? So I know you go abroad a lot, Jason. Do you prefer to buy it over there because there's a lot more than there is over here? Or right?
Yeah. Because you go into some of these anime shops out there, what also you've seen videos of. It's like us going back in the 80s, walking into a toy shop, and you're like, there's so much to look at. And my brother, a lot of times, if he's with me, he'd be like, right, I'll see you in about 2 hours then.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I definitely know that feeling.
I'll go find a corner to sit in. I'll wait to, I mean, he actually, because he's certainly got into anime as well, I think because of me. He actually sat down on the floor in one of the shops we went into that had all the anime pictures, posters, leaflets, the whole work. And he stood on the floor going through for about 2 hours. He found his own stuff, and he's like picking stuff. And he's like, Jason, any good for you? Yeah, I'll have that. But yeah, it's just amazing stuff.
That's messed up. I think they'll stick to the ICs for my shows. Yeah, I was going to say, Dino, did they ever make you whole again, or did you lose soul things? Soul things? What?
Some things.
Something. Oh, right. Or did you lose some things? Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Right. Well, there you have it. Let's get. Here we are already to number one. Loved it. We've still got over 30 people watching, so thank you all so much. The response, the support it means the world to me, so I appreciate it. Right, Jason, your number one is this.
Sword Art Online figures.
Sword Art Online.
Yeah, it's another anime show.
Right.
When I first watched it, it rang I can't say how. It's not, I could imagine, because basically what the show was about there, they put this 3TR's helmet over, and you basically went into this other world. You was no longer you.
What, that virtual reality thing?
Yeah, virtual reality, but you would have thought you was in a different planet. You really would have thought of. And the whole thing where you have friends who, you've never had, you make friends, and you can be whoever you wanted to be, And then sadly, they got trapped. And by the person who designed the game was on purpose. He wanted to trap them, and if you died there, you did die in real life. But it's carried on, and the show, it's one of the shows that my brother he finds it quite hard to read subtitles through his problems. But even on one of the seasons that wasn't dubbed, and even he sat down and watched it as well. He got into Sword Art Online the same much as I did. It's such a cracking show. I just love the figures.
What sort of, when was this, Jace? This early 80s or was it later? Or?
No, this is literally 2010s, maybe in 2015.
I agree with TJC though, because the concept of this and the artwork and this, that they all look so familiar. You don't know when they're coming out. You know what I mean? It's like if you would have told me this was the 80s, I'd have gone fair enough. But you know, they're fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So, is this a big line to collect as well, Jace? Or
yeah, I mean, it's quite funny. Again, it's like any other line. They will only do certain characters, and they always seem to miss out certain characters. I mean, you see, I've got the two guys on the last two shelves. But there's more than them, just them two guys, because these two guys are like sort of like the main characters on one of the shows.
Are these the same characters in different costumes? Any of them, or are they all?
Yeah, different? Some are, and some are different. But yeah, I mean, just
I mean, when you mention this or not, though, I mean, the display also, you've got to admit,
the details.
They display great. They really do.
No, they're quite brilliant, and they will also do because it came out before they came out of the anime show. They did the comics basically like Sai was drawing, so they did the books first. Yeah, and the top shelf, all they are from the actual books, what you never saw in the anime show.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the rest are from the anime shows.
So they roughly do what we did as kids then. It's not just the anime show, it's the toys, it's the comics, it's the books. So it comes in the trilogy, doesn't it, basically? Same as everything, I find them fascinating. I think they're really good. And these are the same thing, about 6-7 inches.
Yeah, they're all the same size as the Sailor Moon's ones.
Wow.
But you can get smaller ones as well. The very bottom shelf, but you can't really see. They are more of a 6-inch, I would say. They are a lot smaller.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I love them to pieces. And so when you go obviously abroad, you're looking for these and you bring quite a few home, do you, and so forth?
Yeah, I try to find characters I haven't got, because but then sometimes it's like, oh, they got her again. Oh, but I do like her in that new outfit. Ooh.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah. But yeah.
So how much are you spending on these?
All depends. Sometimes I would literally pay £3.50. No, sorry, that's wrong. Some I would pay about £9, but I was thinking the wrong amount. Yeah. And some might be up to about 20. But there's some others that can be a lot dearer.
So in other words, so that's one of the things then you got, because if you're buying them in the UK, they're going to be a lot more than that through import charges and.
Yeah, you're looking around 50 to 80.
Are they all right when you transport them, though? Are they brittle or anything? Or are they well made?
No, literally, it's quite funny how they seem to do this stuff out there. And I don't know about Japan, but you buy something off these stores, they bubble wrap the pardon my French. And a lot of times, I don't open my stuff till I get back to the UK. That's how I found the extra figure once in a lot of my stuff. And I'm like, I don't remember buying this figure.
But you do open them all, because my daughter does it as well. Because I told her off a couple of days ago because she threw the boxes away, and I'm like, don't throw the boxes away. Do you know what I mean? But it's important for you to open these and display them, not keep them in the boxes.
I buy them basically where I go for the second-hand shops. A lot of times they don't have boxes, and normally if they haven't got boxes, they're cheaper than the ones that with boxes.
Right.
Well, and being that boxes keep a lot of room, make a lot more room, and it's like, box out.
Do you do your stuff? Do you keep boxes, TJC? Do you get rid of them?
Well, like I say, you've seen some of the stuff I've got is boxed.
In boxes, yeah.
Same as my Transformers toys. I got a lot of the later ones boxed. My original ones.
See, I opened all my Transformers, but kept all the boxes, just stored.
Yeah, but
them,
I didn't the original ones because, like I say, I think you get them out, you play with them, and you just leave them out, and then you just, your parents are like, oh, there's boxes everywhere, and you launch them. But if you know then what you know now, you'd have turned, no,
yeah.
Box.
I suppose you're right, really. But even maybe that's the thing we have in the back of our heads. Because I'll never put the Transformers back in the boxes, but I'm keeping the boxes as a just in
I wish
case.
I had done with a lot of them. I've got a lot of them boxed, as you saw from the last one.
Yeah, because if we ever get rid of him, I think the box adds to it, doesn't it, babe?
Oh, it does.
Not necessarily monetary value, but the fact that you've got the box as well as that. You know what I mean? So perfect. Right, TJC, what is your number one?
Right. Now, this is still games. But this is the first game I ever got. Right. This is before we had computers or anything. This is the first game I ever got. You might remember this, Shabby, because I think that was quite a popular one. Now, this is my childhood one, and that has lasted, and that has got scars. Let's put it like that. But this is my very first game I ever got.
Nice.
Yeah. Like I said, the only person I know who collects stuff like is G-Force. G-Force has got some stuff like
that. But bearing in mind, this is 43 years old, I think.
Wow.
And it still works.
It still works.
Nice.
So you still got it all, like say, so it still works.
Nice.
So yeah, so I as you can see, it's covered in paint and all sorts. When there's painting the ceiling in the bedroom and all sorts of stuff. But I had this, and I used to live on this.
Have you ever given it to your Jason? Your Jason's gone, what the fancy is this?
He had a go on it, and he said, "Oh, what's your high score, Dad?" I said, "Well, you can only get a maximum score of 999 on it because you've only got 3 columns on the screen. That only gave 999. That's it, and you've basically then clocked it. You got 3 levels, so you can put up to level 3, and then you still only get 999." Jason got on and got 80, and went, "Oh, I've got 80 from my first go." I was like, "Brilliant."
Look at him. Yes, TJC represent. Geek Strong says he puts his boxes inside other boxes. That makes I do with my Playmobil. I put my boxes in
but this I think I got this for my 7th birthday, I believe I got this.
And is that the same one you've had since all that time?
That's the same, yeah. That's my childhood one. That is it, yeah.
Built to last though, weren't they? I remember them things.
Well, all I did was a lot of people forget to do it because, like I say, when you're a kid, you forget to do things. But if you're not going to use it for a while, take the batteries out.
So why does that mean so much to you then? What is it about
just
that?
The first one I ever had, and like I say, I remember you when you're a kid, you go outside, and because that's portable, you're like, that's like amazing. It looked like you can play a game outside, and you just go out with your mates and say, "Oh, do you want to have a go on this?" And you're like, we're all having a go on it and stuff, and that was just you had a whole range of them, didn't you? The little handheld games, the CGL games, but so you used to have all of them. You used to have all different themed ones. I think a mate of mine had a Dracula themed one, which was like open coffin sort of shaped thing, and he had that, and that was all.
Yeah, the only person, like I said, besides yourself, I know is G-Force. G-Force. Every time he sees one of them, he gets older one, you know. But,
so I had that, and that was the first game sort of thing I ever had before we even had a computer.
Were these big for you as well, Jason? These sort of games, handhelds like that?
Yeah, I had some as a kid, and I also had the smaller ones, you know, little about that size.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I had some. I mean, I had Astro Wars that was bought to me by my mum for one Christmas, and like some kids do, I remember a couple of years later, basically getting the screwdriver and taking it all apart. I thought, I want to see what's inside. Yeah, couldn't put it back together again, could I? Nah.
No.
They don't really make handhelds anymore, though. Do they really? There's not. I can't think of one modern day one that they've made. I think the PSP, what you showed before, I think they're the most recent ones. But would you class them as handheld game? I mean, they are. But
Shabby, this is quite so retro. This,
yeah,
you can actually get this on the iPad, and you see this on the iPad screen, and you can play that same game.
And you won't mean they had to make something that big to keep the game up. Now it's on a phone.
That's
out
on there, yeah.
It's funny.
It's funny.
Tess telling me that about you can go online and play Spectrum games on your phone. Do you know what I mean? It's weird, isn't it, when you look at it that way? Sorry, Jason, what were you going to say?
I would say you find a lot of them again in Thailand.
No, yeah,
And
probably.
it's quite. But the thing is, a lot of times I've looked at them. A lot of these shops have their own collections in the shops that you cannot buy, and the amount of handheld consoles I've saw, I was like, but then it's like, private collection.
But the company that did all these was CGL, which you can see on the bottom there. CGL, that's Galaxy Invader 1000.
Yeah.
So CGL was a company, and they used to do loads of these sort of games. And like I say, obviously that's a rip off of Space Invaders, but then the licensing, as long as you didn't call it Space Invaders, you call it Galaxy Space Invader 1000. So they thought, Space Invaders, even though it's effectively the same game.
Well, it's like what you're saying before about the licenses and so forth.
Yeah,
Nobody
that was
cared,
a lot looser then, so they could just get away with it and make copies of them, you know.
Well, there you have it. Well, there you are. There is TJC's and Jason's top 5. Can't believe 2 hours and 20 minutes has gone. I have enjoyed this tonight. It's been brilliant. You've both showed some awesome stuff. JT says, I'll keep it in the box if it's nice artwork on it. I'll flatten them up and pop them in the attic. I'll keep all the card back those. They go in folders. I keep my card backs in folders and boxes too. So you can flick through them like a book. What a good idea, JT. Pod Racing Palp says, I used to have that one and the Pac-Man style one.
Yeah, they did Pac-Man a handheld one, which is basically like rounded Pac-Man.
Geek Strong said, I owned a few handheld games, including my childhood Pac-Man. And JT says, I still have my original Donkey Kong from the 80s. It's a little orange foldable case. Yeah, we were talking about that before,
yeah,
JT. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So let me just show this again. So this is TJC. So if you'd like to subscribe and watch us lot playing games and so forth, and TJC going through his stuff, give him a shout. You'll like TJC's on a Sunday. And this is Jason's. And it's hard for me to explain where Jason's going because none of us bloody know where you're going. Do you know? You never know where Jason's going to turn up and end up at. Well, there's Travels with Jason. And obviously,
I might be in London this weekend.
Brilliant. Awesome live stream tonight. Shabby, Jason, everyone in the chat. Great pickup tonight, guys. Yeah, you've showed some awesome stuff. What have I got coming up? Well, I've got another top 5 next week. And next week's the last one. So season 3's finished for top 5 already. Next week, who's joining us on top 5 is Connor and Scott Whitehouse. So they'll be on. Before then, I've got ZSR on Friday with Matt and Tez. It's on my channel this week, and we're full house for the general knowledge. So Matt, as you know, Matt is the so far the ZSR champion. Do you two not fancy it in the future general knowledge, boys?
No, I don't. I'd rather watch.
Brilliant.
Especially the amount of chaos that happens, but at least it seems to be less chaos in yours than does on some other channel.
And I'm
not going to say no names.
And I'm back on the 12th as well. I've got this coming up, and I've got Luke Reynolds, I've got Adam Berry, I've got Monkey Boy, and I've got Super Awesome. I was going through the mass stuff, and I've watched all their old videos of the mass stuff. Before I went out and bought it, I just wanted to make sure. So I thought, you know what? I'll just do a live stream with these lads. So next Wednesday. August the 12th, 3 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock UK. These lads have kindly given from their time to go through their mask collection, teach me more about it and where the love for masks comes from, and obviously show off a bit of toys. So that'll be good. Do you two have anything coming up you'd like to talk about?
For me, I've got something planned. Ain't got anything planned apart from the gaming stream on Sunday at the minute. I mean, I'm
gaming stream on Sunday.
So.
Right, okay. Jace, what about you? What's your next video about, buddy?
I've got something dropping in 2 days' time, but at the top of my head, my brain's gone dead. I can't actually remember what it was now.
I have all of my telesports and elds, football 1 and 2, soccer, basketball, baseball, and hockey. There you go. Still got my Tomitronic Space Raider game. Was that the one that you held it like that? Yeah, it was
the red binoculars one, yeah.
I remember the Tron one. Yeah, that was all. And the shark one. There was a shark one too, wasn't there? Yeah. I remember that. No one knows where you're going. Bit like a passage on.
Thanks, Jono.
Great top 5s. Until we see you all tomorrow night. It's Stu and Stu and Georgie doing something tomorrow night, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true.
Unboxing. That's what he's doing. Yeah, we talked to Georgie about it yesterday, didn't we? Great streams. Thank you, pal. Nostalgic selections today, lads. It's been also I love doing top 5. You never know what these lads are going to. Great stream, lads. Cheers to everyone in the chat until we gather around our dial-up Dreamcasts and wonder where all time went. Thank you, Gilster. Cheers, pal. 3 p.m. Yeah, 5 o'clock. Go to bed early. Fun confet. Go to bed early. You can get up and you can watch it. George, I'm looking for that Tommy game. Yeah, awesome, man. Well, there you have it. Thank you both so much. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you all soon. Say goodnight, lads.
Night
See you
all.
later all.
There you
Ta for now.